Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman, and you're listening to the Bob Culture Podcast with your host, Rob Crother.
I came to play, this a price to pay. Time for you to get on your knees and pray. Say goodbye to the good old days. They're never coming back, watch your future fade. I came to play to get my dues paid. I guess you had a dream, but it can't be saved. I'm here to stay.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Must Listen Podcast here on the Bob Culture Podcast. We're here on episode 38 right now. You are listening to It Lives, It Breathes, playing the Miz music right now. They're awesome. Check them out on Spotify. They got a WWE playlist. You got to check it out. They're on YouTube, CD Baby, all that good stuff. So check them out. It Lives, It Breathes. Thanks, guys, so much for letting me use your music for the intro. And we're pumped. How you guys feeling? Ready to go?
Absolutely.
Ready to go.
Yes.
Let's do it.
I'm ready.
Yes, we're ready. All right, of course, I am joined by the human wrestling encyclopedia himself, Mr. Michael Vacchiano. Mike, how are you, sir?
Well, you might want to take that title away from me. I'm doing fine, thank you. Mr. Bodkin's here. We'll get to that a little later on.
Oh, right. Well,
But yes, I'm fine. Thank you for having me.
all right. And, of course, well, as Mike mentioned, we do have the founder and creator of the PopRake.com, contributor for Pro Wrestling Insider, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Bill Bodkin. Bill, welcome. How are you, sir?
What?
Let
me tell you something, you son of a bitch. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to open some audio whoop ass on you coming in from 316 Gibbon Street in South Amboy, New Jersey. What?
Yes.
Not in the podcast studio. We're going to be doing some predictions. What? That was so annoying when I'm not drunk.
I can't see you tapping your wrists, the fake watch. I can't see you doing that, though.
That's amazing.
Oh, actually, I did that. It's good for the podcast when I'm at my house, not with you guys, looking at my wrist saying that.
Yeah. Oh, hey, man.
Just put it in post. It'll be fine.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, man, you got to do the whole podcast like that now, Bill. And, of course, we are joined by Mr. at Hey You Sports himself for all your sports need. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tim Uhrig. Tim, welcome back, my friend. How are you?
What is up? Are you ready? WrestleMania just around the corner.
It's the road to Wrestle. Well, it is WrestleMania. We're pretty much there. You're right. And we are going all out. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a big giveaway. We're giving away that New Day FYE exclusive pop vinyl set. We have a winner. We'll announce that in a little bit. You guys can help me out with that.
Woo!
Yeah. Oh, we got some woos already. We got Stone. We got some woos. We got some whats. We even got Paul Heyman here. Paul.
I was governor of Minnesota one time, and I still think that New Day bobbleheads are probably a little better than my tenure during in Minneapolis. I'm just saying.
Oh boy, we have there's a lot more people in this room than I thought.
We've lost it already.
All right, guys, let's get down to business. There's so much to cover here. Where can I even start? Guys, like I said last time, you've been knocking it out of the park. My wrestling panel, Nunez included. The Survivor Series predictions were pretty on point. The Royal Rumble predictions were great. Mike had a perfect prediction, I guess score, however you want to call it.
Oh, thank you.
And Nunez.
I cannot wait to bring that down.
Oh! Well, I'll tell you what, Chris Nunez.
By getting them all wrong.
Oh, yeah. Hey, man.
If that's the case, I'm going to sign up for just the opposite of what you pick right now. And then this will be a little bit shorter
This
of
is
a
a
podcast.
much bigger card. I doubt I'll be able to get maybe, 60%. We'll see how it goes.
Hey, no, I'm feeling good, guys. You guys have been crushing it this year. Well, this WrestleMania year, I should say. Chris Nunez, as I said, he is the Undertaker so far of our podcast because he is undefeated, and he got all of his Royal Rumble predictions right in his debut. So, guys, of course, give yourselves a round of applause because you guys have been crushing it. You make me look good. Thank you guys very much.
Woo!
Let's get a woo. Let's get a woo.
Woo!
Yes.
All right. Now, I loved the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. I mean, I think it was really for the fans. I loved all the returns. The Hurricane, I lost my mind for Mysterio. What's the term? Marked out. I lost my mind.
Yes.
I tried not to jump up and down and cry. I think I just stood up and froze and tried to keep my composure in front of a lot of people. But I was stoked. I thought it was a great pay-per-view, the first ever Women's Royal Rumble. And I think we all around agreed on Asuka winning the Royal Rumble. That was a great job out of you guys. So I want to start there. As always on the Bob Culture Podcast, we do ladies first. So we're going to start with a big match, which might steal the show. Let's start with Asuka, the winner of the first ever Women's Royal Rumble, versus Charlotte Flair. And I'm glad she picked Charlotte. What do you guys think about this matchup? Bill, go ahead. You lead us off.
It's gonna steal the show. I have a feeling that AJ and Nakamura is gonna be could has the potential to be the match of the night, but I think we're looking at it right here. These two are primed for greatness. I've been watching Asuka when she was coming over in Chikara like a long time ago, and she was great then. She's only gotten better. Same thing with Charlotte. I think they're both like 1 and 1A, give or take who you're feeling for the day of the best women in the world right now. So this is definitely going to be an awesome match, and I see some people picking Charlotte, but I do think the streak is going to remain alive for a very specific reason, and I think Asuka is going to take the title, and that streak will continue until a certain someone, I believe, is going to end it.
Interesting.
Yep.
Very, very well said, by the way, Bill. Good stuff. Tim, I'm going to go over to you next because I remember you had said on the Royal Rumble podcast, like Asuka really needs to just keep the streak going. You were very behind Asuka. How you feeling about this match, and do you think Asuka's going to do it?
The build up for this has been, the streak. So now you have it. You have, like you said, 1 and 1A. Like, these two are the cream of the crop. A little Macho Man reference there. But they've built this up, and this is it. It's going to be a fantastic match. You're going to get all your spots that you want to get. It's going to be awesome. And in my eyes, you built up Asuka to be this, super being as far as the streak. It's got to just continue for now. So I think that this, and you'll see in my predictions moving forward, a lot of title changes from me coming for my predictions. But I think Asuka takes it, and I think it's going to be a fantastic match.
Well said. Mr. Vecchiano.
All right, I hate to be unanimous, but I'm going to go with Asuka as well. And here's the thing. I love how they built it up. This is the match they had to have. I mean, if Asuka chose to stay on Raw and fight Alexa Bliss, and that's another match, but trust me, no one would be as excited for it. But Charlotte is somebody who, it's like, she has the genetics. She's like the female Randy Orton. I always said that in the sense that she...
don't ever compare her to Randy Orton.
Oh, come on. I'm just saying, come on, Bill. I'm just saying about the fact that she's got the pedigree. She came in. She's a freak athlete who came in and took to it just like that. And she'll be headlining the women's division. She'll be she'll be the bar. I mean, no pun intended. She'll be up there.
We are the bar
for the next for the next decade, I'd say. But I mean, for right now, yeah, I definitely think Asuka's gonna win it. It's gonna be an amazing match. Asuka's gonna hit her with everything, and even Asuka will not be smiling. So she'll realize she'll have to fight to win this belt.
I'm with you guys. Asuka all around. You guys are smart gentlemen, so I trust you guys. But also, like Tim's been saying, let's keep this momentum going. Why not?
Not only that, well, what they're going to do is, it's going to be a great match because you still have to make them both look strong. So Asuka's, we predict she's going to keep the streak alive. But Charlotte still has to, give this match. It's going to be, 25, 30 minutes, maybe more. They're just going to put on a show for everybody because they're still going to want to keep the momentum that these two have going forward.
Might take 4 or 5 of those buzzsaw kicks to the head, or it might take Charlotte passing out in the chicken wing for after 2 minutes or so. What I really hope they don't do is Carmella cashes in and becomes the biggest heel by ruining the biggest women's dream match in the modern era. So
that's something I've heard a number of times, that she'll cash in, and so neither one of them lose, and that way they can keep the rivalry going for another few months. But I think that would just really cheapen it, and Carmella, frankly, is just not even in the same league as those two. So I think the match would infinitely suffer.
Yeah, but right off the bat, heel heat, right? Not magnified to 1,000, or screwing up that match.
And you guys, first of all, you guys are so good that you already beat me to my segue. I was going to talk about a cash in. That's how good you guys are. But Carmella has had that briefcase for a long time, so I don't really have an answer for that. I don't know if she's going to cash in at Mania. Go ahead.
I actually think I know the answer, and I just thought of it now, and I think she cashes in on the Raw women on the Raw side.
Right, and she can do that, correct?
Yeah, she could do that. I see that as would make more of a logical standpoint or logical sense than having her go in against Asuka and Charlotte
At WrestleMania.
At WrestleMania or at Raw. I mean, if you want me to just jump into that, I think Nia wins that match and she ends up stealing it from her. So it's like her moment of glory, and then it's taken away immediately, and she's back on the chase.
Interesting. All right, good stuff, guys. Really good. So Asuka all around?
Asuka all around.
Yeah, Asuka.
All right, awesome.
We are ready. We are ready for Asuka.
Oh, yeah,
Yes,
that's
yes.
right. Well
Good job.
said.
Good job.
Oh, man.
It's all dad jokes from that.
Hey, that's why you're here, man.
Totally.
Awesome. And the Stone Cold Steve Austin impression. All right.
The drunk uncle and dad jokes. There you go.
Guys, I know a lot of people are excited for this one. I certainly am. First of all, can we talk about how exciting it is to have Daniel Bryan back in the WWE ring as a competitor?
Without a doubt. I mean, Daniel Bryan is one of the guys who got me into Ring of Honor over a decade ago. It was amazing how this guy, 5'8", 5'9", pasty white, total generic-looking wrestler, physically generic-looking wrestler. And
Before the beard, yes.
before the beard, yes, when he had the buzz head and looked, everything. But he just wrestled and acted like a star because he knew how good he was, and everything. The whoa, I got till 5, and then just when he became over your face and saw the passion he has, and the fact that how excited he is right now to be able to be cleared and to make up and to go back in there in the ring and do what he loves. I mean, he's one of those guys who said when he would, if he could wrestle if he could be cleared and not make any money and wrestle for free the rest of his life, I believe him. So I'm so excited for him personally. I'm glad he's got this spot, but I think we all know, and at least I like to think we all know, but I'm predicting Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn for that one.
All right, getting right into it. What do you think, Bill? Go ahead. What do you think about Daniel Bryan coming back, first of all?
I'm ambivalent towards it because, in one respect, I've watched Daniel Bryan since the Murphy Rec Center days of Ring of Honor, standing next to him in the lobby while Mickey James and Joey Mercury went over their match when they were dating.
Wow.
2003. And 5'7", 5'8", I could tell you it was a generous height for Daniel Bryan. Because he was definitely shorter than me, and I'm 5'10". And I'm so happy that he's back, and that opening promo was very it was very inspirational, almost I'd say brought a tear to my eye. But at the same time, knowing the injuries that he's had, knowing that he had seizures in the ring, and knowing that he's a new dad, for me, I see that, and it does give me worry to watch him in the ring, because you're like, yes, he's cleared, but man, could one of those injuries come back? How bad would that injury be? I'd rather see Daniel Bryan never wrestle again and be healthy, as opposed to we get 2 or 3 matches and he gets injured even worse. But I guess we have to go in with a positive attitude. So I'll say I'm very stoked to see him back. I just hope his style is a little more. I mean, it's not going to be. He already took a power bomb on a ring apron.
I was really, and not to cut you off, I really, I agree with what you're saying, and of course we're happy to see him back, but he really does go all out. Even that little altercation with Zayn and KO, he is going all out. I mean, he's probably had 3 years of aggression pent up inside, to be back in that ring. But even before he got injured, he's doing 2 dives through the ropes per match. He does go all out. I'd rather him be safe than flashy.
He might bust those out for no more flying goat or the headbutt. No more. He's gonna have to tone it. He's always gonna have to tone it down, and he can because he can mat wrestle anybody out there, and people will get behind him. He doesn't have to do crazy moves for people to pop for him because people just love.
By the way, WWE posted a video on their Instagram, on their social media, of him practicing backflips today.
I did.
Yeah,
I saw that.
I was just about to mention that.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to go out, but I will say it did make me smile. He kind of hesitated on the 1 or 2, and then he just went for it. And you got to be happy for him. But Bill, you have a great point. Tim, what do you got over there?
Listen, we're all just happy to see him out there, but these guys, like, they love what they do, and there's wrestlers who have come back from injury that just go for it, and there's guys out there, and we've talked in past podcasts about guys who, you know, have torn ligaments but still wrestle the same exact style. I mean, I don't expect us to get everything from, you know, Daniel Bryan in this match, but I think you'll see a lot of, you know, Matt stuff. I think, you know, I just don't think he goes all out here just because it's the first match back and all that stuff. But we're all just going to be super, super pumped because he's back out there. And, you know, you're kidding yourself. And it may be us just getting older. But when you say bring a tear to your eye, it does. Because you know these guys, they love the business. And they go and they work at it, and they try to get healthy. They try to get cleared. And you know what? When we got the news that he was cleared, like, we sent mass texts to everybody we knew who liked wrestling.
Yeah, you texted me.
It was like the news of the day, the news of the week.
News of the year.
Yeah, and you know what? And we're just all pumped that he's out there. So it's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. I'm ready for it.
Nice.
If I could show a little inside baseball, every year I go to this WrestleMania party, and my friend has this buddy who's a personal trainer, and he's worked with like Sebastian Stan before he did Winter Soldier, and he's worked with Daniel Bryan, and he's like 2 years ago he was like Daniel Bryan. Maybe not 2 years ago, a year ago he said Daniel Bryan's ready to go. He's ready to go. Like he's been cleared by, like I think at the time like 5 to 6 different doctors. So I mean this guy's been ready to go for a while. So I think we're gonna see a lot of, so I'm even more excited that he's back because he has been cleared to go, and that's why all those rumors are out there that if WWE didn't keep him, like if he didn't resign that contract or they didn't let him wrestle soon, he was going to Japan.
Yeah,
and because he was telling this guy, he's like once my contract's up, I'll go to New Japan. They'll give me. He's like, I don't care what money they give me, I'm gonna go wrestle them for them and wrestle full time. And like, so I guess that's probably another reason why WWE is like, oh, we better get you back in the ring.
And that also would have been fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Yes.
I like that. You know, as far as we say wrestling scripted and all that. Daniel Bryan keeps it pretty real. You know, I like that about him. You can kind of see that in his character. But yes, of course, we're happy for him. We're thrilled, but unfortunately, I don't see any way that him and Shane win this match. I'm going to agree with Mike. You know, kind of Zayn, obnoxious Zayn, or what did you call him, Mike? I forget what you called him last time, but you were liking
smart
it.
ass. The obnoxious, like snarky. You know, Kevin Owens is unlocked, like the smart ass version.
Right, yeah.
Kevin,
but I see them winning. Obviously, Shane tends to lose pretty much every match he's in like the big pay-per-views. Because he's, fighting some big names. What was it, ajstyles last year? But, I said this when Daniel Bryan was cleared. I said he would be happy to lose every single match, like just to be in that ring. Mike, I think you said he would wrestle for free, or was that you?
He's one of those guys who said, like, if I was cleared, it had nothing to do with the money. He's like, I love to wrestle, and if I could wrestle for free every day, I would. It has nothing to do with the money, But I also think it's funny because it's like the whole Brie Bella thing, like as much as she knows that like she wants him to be healthy and safe, doesn't want him to wrestle anymore. She knows that she can't like stop, like he's a wrestler, just like Rocky and Adrian. Rocky's a fighter. She can't stop him from fighting.
What wife of the year, by the way, Brie? I mean, besides our wives, obviously Bill and Mike.
Oh,
yeah, there you go. But yeah,
True story.
Megan, I love you.
Nice save right there. Yeah,
oh, thanks.
But there you go. But yeah, I don't see Bryan and Shane winning this match. And I would love to see down the line. I want to see that Daniel Bryan versus The Miz match, maybe SummerSlam. But Mike and I already said Zayn and KO. So, Bill, who do you think is going to win this match?
There's, in my opinion, I'm going the other way. To me, there's no way you bring Daniel Bryan back just to lose.
Wow,
makes sense.
Feel good story of the year. You're bringing him back to New Orleans, where it all started. Some people have said, "Oh, he'll turn heel." No, he's not going to do that. WWE needs a star, and when you now have the fact that Dana White has confirmed that your main event guy is going to bounce after WrestleMania, so that means Roman Reigns pretty much is guaranteed to win. Which I know he got cheered in Atlanta. How much he's going to get cheered at the Superdome, I have no idea. You need a feel-good moment, and it's going to be Daniel Bryan winning. I'm concerned about this match because I don't know if it was real or fake, but Shane McMahon supposedly has hernia surgery a few weeks ago. I've had a hernia before, and it takes quite a while to just be okay to move around. So that worries me. But I think my scenario is Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon win, and Raw and Kevin and Sammy go to Raw the next night, and they get hired there.
Interesting.
I can't see Daniel Bryan just coming out there just to lose, unless like there's shenanigans and for some reason Shane McMahon turns heel, which I think would be kind of silly. But I just see Daniel and Shane taking it out. And you know what? Let's not have Shane McMahon wrestle anymore. That would be great.
Makes sense. No, everything you're saying makes perfect sense.
I'll go on to that point because I'm also on board with you with the feel-good story of the year. Are you really going to have him lose, him and his partner? And I say that partner because I did also, read everything about the hernia surgery. Is it possible that we get Kane in this match?
Correct. I like where you're going with this.
Is it possible? Because I think that would be a good moment for everybody as well.
Well, because Kane does have history with Shane, too. I mean, they had a lot of crazy matches, 10-plus years ago. That could be, they have ties with both of them. And, of course, the Team Hell No versus, of course, if people know independent wrestling, KO and Sami Zayn were a fantastic team on the independents. So,
is there a chance that Shane's not wrestling? I mean, I was watching Tuesday. It looks, as far as we know, he is. Is there a chance this isn't happening, or?
I don't know. Well,
it would probably be better, like, if he's like, Shane's like, you know what, guys, a little banged up. Of course, if you bring out Kane is not, I know Rob's going to be like, Bill, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
But, Kane should have stayed in that political race a long time ago, but I think that would be a nice send-off for Kane. Because I don't know what his spot in WWE is right now outside of Legend. And for him to come out with Daniel Bryan, they get the win together. Maybe that's a nice send-off for Kane, too.
Yeah.
Is to be like, okay, hey, Kane's going to ride off into the sunset for the time being. We'll bring him back every once in a while. But if you actually go on WWE's Instagram, I think Kane, he might hold some of the most losses in WWE in WrestleMania history.
Yeah, my wife texted me that stat before. She
Shawn
wanted to get
Michaels
credit
does.
for that. Yeah, actually, Triple H has 12, or Triple H has 12.
By the way, smart and you know what, Bill, I would be okay with that with the Daniel Bryan. Send off. I got into it with someone who wrote that he should retire or whatever. But I definitely, that would be a nice send off. Was it you? Yeah. Yeah.
I was just like, why the hell is Kane ruining Braun
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar?
Yeah, and
he's obviously going to take the pin. Just send him away, and you're like, Bill.
Yeah. No, man. But yeah, and then
you love Kane.
Dude, I love Kane. He's been around forever. But there is a time for everyone, and future Hall of Famer, I think, no question.
I think that would be. I agree. That would be a fantastic send off for Kane. And if not there, maybe I don't know. You see him in the Battle Royal.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, totally. He's set a lot of records in the Rumble. In fact, he would set more, I think, if he was in like the past two, which he wasn't. But I'm going on a Kane rant. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm sorry. Moving on. But Tim, did you're sticking with
I'm going
Bryan?
with, Daniel Bryan.
So we're split.
Daniel Bryan's team. Period.
Daniel Bryan's team. All right, well said, guys. We'll see what happens. Now we're starting to deviate. It's like Bill. The running joke is and we'll get there obviously. But the running joke is every pay-per-view we pick AJ Styles, like no matter what. So we'll get there. But that's like the running joke.
Not today.
Not today. Ooh, a little foreshadowing.
Maybe.
All right.
I'm all title changes. 100%.
Look at that.
We'll see.
We'll see. All right, guys. Let's talk about some triple threat action here. We have the Intercontinental Championship match with Seth, Finn, and of course The Miz. Of course, congratulations to The Miz. I think Mike mentioned the other day he kind of broke character just a little bit, being a dad. Well, Bill, you're the only one who's a dad here, man. So, and I know you love being a dad, so we're happy for Miz, man.
Oh yeah, no. If anything, it was gonna make him like it's like, how can you root against the guy? He's like, I had a kid, but I'm still gonna do WrestleMania, and here's me talking about how much I love being a dad. Like, man, when the Miz ever wants to be a true blue good guy again, like, not that one time he was a good guy. Like, all he's gotta do is be like, here's me being proud to be a dad, and everyone's like, yeah. We back you 100%, dude.
You're right.
Not like people don't already, but I think it's gonna add. It'll definitely add a really nice dimension to his character.
Totally, dude. Yeah, 100%.
I remember the episode. I watched the episode live when he announced on Raw, yes, me and Maurice were having a baby, and he kind of broke a little smile, and he's like, welcome to Miz TV. He's like, and by the way, we got some great news. We're having a baby. Now back to business. You all suck, you know? But listen, like, we all know that they're playing characters. We all know the Miz is probably, like, actually a really nice guy. He's a great PR guy for the company. But yeah, I mean, it was nice for him to break character, and he, like, obviously on Raw this past week, he was like, oh, it's like, I'm a new father. He's like, I've done a lot of great things, but when you look at the kid looks at you the first time, it's incredible. You know, it just inspires me to be more focused, more proud. And I'm also thinking, just because takeaway is personal life for a second, but The Miz has had a phenomenal past 12 months. He really has. And Seth Rollins and Finn Balor, yeah, they're both popular. My wife both thinks they're hot. Yeah, you know, she'll be watching with us.
I think most humans do.
Most humans.
I mean, I could
Yes.
objectively say, like, as a straight man for the last 36 years, I mean, those are hot dudes. I mean,
Well, yes.
I mean, you could do laundry on Finn Balor's abs. Right?
Uh-huh.
I got a shirt- I got
All
a
That
eight
is true.
reasons why. Yes. Okay. But as Rob likes to poke fun at me
Yes,
about.
you're all 8 reasons. She
All
loves
8 reasons
Finn
why,
Balor.
you know, my Paul Heyman impression is a little more, you know, I got more hair than Paul Heyman. Other than that, though, that's my build. Anyway. But, look, Seth Rollins, it's going to be a great
You have an
match.
Advocate's body.
Yes, it's good. As Finn Balor and Seth Rollins, amazing in the ring. I've been a fan of Seth Rollins since he was Tyler Black in Ring of Honor and everything. I mean, it's going to be a classic heel move. They're going to not beat the hell out of each other for the last 2 minutes of the match, and then Miz is going to come and sneak the pin. Miz will get the IC title record, and Miz will get the big win on the big stage. Like, they've been hyped with the fact that he beat Cena in the main event at WrestleMania how many years ago, and that was a terrible WrestleMania. We won't talk about that. But he deserves this big win on the big stage and carries his record. He could lose the IC title a month from now, you know, to one of them. Fine. But here at WrestleMania, I think Miz should win. I'd be happy if the Miz won. And I totally think, because it's also a tribute to how well he has done with his character, with everything he's done for the last 12 months. So I'm going to go with Miz.
Tim, what do you got?
I'm all about title changes, and I'm going to say it goes somewhere else. I'll just flip a coin. I don't have one, but we'll say that it lands
I
on.
like the thumb up right there.
Yeah.
With the
Flip. I'll say that it goes with I'll say Finn Balor. But it's gonna be a great match regardless. Everybody's gonna go crazy, and you know you're gonna get all your spots.
I see show
It's gonna be
stealing.
good.
I see show stealing
Yeah.
potential with that one too. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's gonna be fantastic.
Bill, what do you got?
I think what's cool about this WrestleMania is, like, we've seen so many matches so far, the ones we talked about, are like, oh, it's going to be really good. And I think that's something in the last few WrestleManias where we haven't always said that.
Fantastic
Like, oh, these
point.
matches could be really good. This is a really tough call for me, because I look at, like, logically, you would say, oh, well, the Miz probably is going to need time off, you know, be with his family. And, you know, if anyone needs a title right now, it's Finn Balor. I mean, the guy's pretty much been treading water since his return. It's been a kind of a yo-yo type push for him. It's like, okay, he does really well, and he goes far in the Royal Rumble, then nothing happens. So he almost has like a little Dolph Ziggler thing going on there. It's like, oh, here's the push, and we're going to pull it back. Push and pull it back. Putting a belt on him, I think, is the right move. However, I really can see them going with The Miz. Although I think taking the title off The Miz to have him, I know they're saying Daniel Bryan, but I almost would rather see him be in line, if Roman Reigns wins the title, to be the guy to take on Roman Reigns and beat him for the title, because I think The Miz has put in the work to be the guy in the WWE and to be more of a face and to be the champion. He's more ready than he was when he beat John Cena.
I agree with you on that one, Bill. Definitely. I think he got pushed way to the moon originally as the main event guy and the world champ, and so yeah, I mean, Miz has slowly built his way back up. He's got his stable. He's got his his wife, as you know, when she comes back, as like his valet. He's built himself up. He's done great on the mic. He's done so well, and I could totally see him now being a more viable main event guy. So I agree with you on that.
Absolutely, and so I'm gonna go Finn Balor. Would it shock me if The Miz retains? It absolutely would not. but I think Finn Balor is the guy who's the desperate need of the win. Rollins doesn't need the win. In fact, Rollins and he could be the next feud, because I think there's a really good feud there, and I think good guy Rollins run is coming to a bit of an end. Well, a good guy run is coming to an end for one of them, and I think it should be. Well, actually, I don't know. Either one would be fine. Probably Finn, because he's never done it in WWE, and have him and the Good Brothers really ramp up the fake Bullet Club, Balor Club.
Yeah.
Like, have it ramp it up and give them more meaning. So I'm gonna go Finn Balor.
Yeah,
Good stuff.
just to tack on a point there. Yeah, I mean, I'm on board with Finn winning. I think that when we get to our predictions on the Roman Reigns, we all pretty much know Reigns is going to win the match, and we'll talk a little bit about it and when we get there. But I think moving forward, you probably get a Balor pin over Miz, and then that keeps Rollins looking semi-strong, and they've been teasing a little Reigns and Rollins, so maybe that's your next feud after Mania. But we'll see what happens moving forward.
Good stuff, guys, as always. I'm going to pick Miz to retain, namely because of this reason. I mean, there's a lot of other reasons. He's riding a wave right now. Why not, what did he say? It was the best week of his life or whatever.
He won him and Asuka won the mixed match challenge. I mean,
we knew they would.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And, obviously he had the kid. He's very happy. He had that great, I don't want to say promo, but that great, he was just kind of a little bit out of character on commentary. It was great,
Yeah.
And a lot of you guys are saying maybe FaZe Bill had a great point. He's ready for that main event. But I'm going to say he's going to win the Intercontinental or retain the Intercontinental Championship based on the fact that WWE loves those records. And I believe he is, 40-something days away from a record?
Yeah, I mean,
they love those records.
About one more month. I'd say one more month. Just keep it round. Yeah, one more month of,
right.
The
They
belt.
also don't love those records, because remember Charlotte was undefeated on pay-per-views, and then she lost on some rando pay-per-view, and everyone's like, okay, that's weird.
They were hyping that in the promo.
Very, very true.
Right, but it wasn't like, if you're gonna put a streak like that on the line, save it for the big four. Don't put it on roadblock end of the line 6. You know what I mean?
I understand. Yeah, I mean, Charlotte should have held it until last year's WrestleMania and then lost it to Bayley. I remember Bayley was champ then, so they were gonna give Bayley that better moment. But yeah, I know what you're saying about the records, but I think Miz has been hyping it up, and I think it will only add to his character, like you said about him going face. Yeah, people like him more now as a person, and Mike Mizanin, the real guy, but he's so much better as a heel. He should never go.
Oh
face.
yeah, no, he'll be kind of what Braun Strowman is. I mean, Braun Strowman's or Steve Austin. They were never good guys. They just were eventually turned by the crowd.
Yeah.
Good point. Yeah, and I can't wait to talk about Strowman. I have a lot to say about that, but I digress. Obviously,
you really want to get those hands rubbed.
Yeah. Well done. I'm going to stick with The Miz to retain. I think they're going to go with that record. I don't see him losing at Mania. This is his week. I think it's happening. So I'll go with Miz. I agree with what you guys are saying about Finn for sure. Seth gets titles left and right, so I don't see him winning. I definitely agree with some sort of heel turn with one of those two. Finn, I could see Finn winning it. He's, like you said, been treading water. He's just kind of been in the background, still very popular with the fans. Obviously he was the first Universal Champion, never got a shot back at that, which I thought was going to happen. I actually picked him to win the Rumble. I was way off, but what was he in Final Four? But I digress.
Yeah, I digress. Final Four.
Final Four. There you go. But I'll stick with The Miz, and let's move on, guys. I know we started with a nice kind of main course here, but we're gonna back it up a little bit, and we're gonna go to some of these kickoff matches. All right, we're gonna take it back a little bit. All right. So let's start with the women's battle royale, and I'm just gonna get you guys started. Becky Lynch, go.
You know what? I'll go with you on that. You know what? I think Bayley, before the biggest names in there, Bayley and Sasha cancel each other out. They got a great feud going. I would kind of wish it'd be nice to see them have some kind of one-on-one grudge match at Mania. Obviously, it's not happening. But yeah. I like Becky Lynch. I love Becky Lynch, actually. So I'll go with you again, Rob, and go Becky Lynch.
Smart man.
I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I also was going Becky Lynch on that, only because I feel like she's so underutilized, and she's one of those that have been like kind of pushed to the background a little bit with all these other feuds that are now rising up. So maybe they give this to her.
All right,
Man,
Bill.
it's I was really like on the Becky Lynch train. I've always been on the Becky Lynch train. Yeah, but it's she's like Surfer Sting from the 90s, where she's just like the dumb babyface who always gets like duped in the end. And like it wouldn't shock me to see Sasha Banks win it by eliminating Bayley, like very douchily. Like, but I'll stick to and I also like Sonya Deville too. Like, I could see her being in the finals with Becky Lynch, but I'll go Becky Lynch. But I have a further question to complicate this. There's not a lot of people in this battle royal right now.
I was going to bring that up. Yep.
Yeah. Who do you think is going to be who's going to fill in the ranks? Because I think there's only 10 women in it.
Yeah, I counted on Raw when they showed the graphic or whatever.
You need a good 15 to 20 for an actual battle royal. I mean, they just got all these like former women back for the 30 woman Royal Rumble match itself, and they could get a couple surprises. I mean, wouldn't be out of the blue. But as far as you said about what's her name, Sasha winning rather douchily, I'm all on board for that if they go full heel with Sasha Banks, because I loved her heel stuff in NXT. I think her character and everything, she just could be an amazing heel on the main roster, which they need to do. So if that happens, cool. I'm on board for that. But personally, like on a sentimental note, because I like her and I think she's not getting enough due, I still stay with Becky Lynch.
Yeah, I mean the fans are behind her. That doesn't mean she's going to win or anything. I'm just thinking she's going to get a spotlight. But also, she was the first ever SmackDown Women's Champion, so that's another first ever. They might not go that route.
If anyone has been like, that's kind of like my Finn Balor argument is like if there's people who need the win to do something for the career because they're really just spinning their wheels. And that's Becky Lynch to me. It's just like Natalya doesn't win a lot, but she's like the veteran,
Well, Natalya got her moment. What was it? Survivor Series? SummerSlam
Yeah.
Survivor Series? Yeah, she got her like moment, and I thought that was fantastic for her. So, yeah, I'm on board with that too. Like, I feel like Becky Lynch just completely underutilized at this moment and for the last couple months.
Bill, I also like your Sonya Deville point. Very high on her. It'd be great to see.
Jersey girl, why not, man?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, there's gold going to be on her shoulders soon enough, man.
I agree.
I think before they signed Shayna Baszler, I figured Sonya Deville was going to have like that, really tough, hard as nails MMA knee you till you can't breathe kind of thing.
I thought they were going to cut her when they signed Shayna Baszler because I'm like, all right, I guess they don't need two women like that. But I was really happy to see her get called up, and she's looked really good. I don't think Mandy Rose has really gotten out of first gear, and I don't think they ever expected her to. But like Sonya Deville, I think is like talk about someone who's improved leaps and bounds, like just months being on the main roster.
I agree with you on that, definitely.
Agree, totally. Let's go to the men's. Andre
Of course,
the
I'm also Team Sarah Logan, so what can I tell you?
There you go. Oh yeah, no, totally. Hey, you never know.
Rhea Ripley, NXT. Next year, she'll be the big one. I'm telling you right now.
Rhea Ripley.
Oh,
Calling it now.
She could be awesome next year.
Yes.
Also Nixon Newell, but that's just me.
We'll see what happens, guys. How about the Andre the Giant Battle Royale? Again, I think there was a graphic only showing about 10 to 12 guys. In that, it's really hard for me to pick a winner on this one, so I want to see what you guys think.
Because this match sucks.
But it gives everyone a chance to be on the card.
Been good. Like Cesaro won it the first year, and it was like, this is awesome. He's gonna get the push. He didn't. They tried to put Paul Heyman with him, and it just went over like a fart in church. And then it was like everyone else has won. It's been like completely irrelevant.
I kind of disagree. I think it's helped Baron Corbin make kind of a good splash. I'm gonna.
Oh, you know what? You know what I say about Baron Corbin?
Uh-oh.
Go ahead.
Fuck Baron Corbin.
Ooh.
I hate him a little less than Randy Orton. Baron Corbin is just like human NyQuil. He just puts me to sleep and I do not feel well when I wake up after taking it. He is just like, his belly is like, there's a reason he wears a shirt all the time because he can't get cut. And he's got a cool theme music and a cool finisher. Everything else is about like a punch kick, boring as shit Memphis as like you get. And his promos are all, I'm gonna beat you up because I just don't like people. Okay, well, go fuck yourself, pal. Like, just go get off my screen.
Ripping
And then
Baron.
Mojo Rawley. Oh my god, light my eyes on fire. Like, stop.
Ripping Baron Corbin.
Oh, I will do it all day.
Ripping
every day,
Baron
so.
Corbin. It sounds like a movie title.
Well, Mike's cousin Matt loves.
My
it's a
cousin
good thing
Matt
he's
has
not
been
here.
a fan of Baron Corbin since day one. So I mean, that's just his person. I like Baron Corbin. He's not one of my favorites. I mean, he plays his part well. Like you said, yes, he's a big dude. He looks like he was like a roadie for how many freaking different bands and everything like that. But as far as a guy, I think it'd be cool. Like, I'm gonna pick Dolph Ziggler for this Battle Royal, and I could see him just like getting awarded the trophy and just be like, nah, I'm just leaving the trophy there and walking away, kind of like he doesn't care anymore. Keeping up this whole like, I'm the best in the room and I'm not caring about any of these accomplishments anymore.
Kind of how I feel about Dolph Ziggler. I just stopped caring.
Oh,
Wow.
Dude, everyone is about it. Like, yeah, you're just hitting all my trigger points right now. I'm just like, Dolph Ziggler's just been like, I want him to get fired so he can go to New Japan or somewhere else and just reinvent himself and then come back as someone cool, because he's not funny. He oversells everything, and he's just like, what is your gimmick besides being annoyed about everything, by not being pushed? His gimmick is being a whiner. That's all he does. He always bitches about everything.
but isn't that good
and he
heel
doesn't win.
characteristics though? Like,
No, because a whiner, he's just like, oh, I didn't get my title shot. Why am I not getting a push? Why am I not doing that? Okay, shut up. And that's when he's a baby.
Maybe
like,
like
great,
a
if you
mini
think-
Raven. What about me?
I would give anything for Raven over Dolph Ziggler at this point.
All
Even
right.
fat, old-ass Raven.
all right, I won't fan any more flames with you, Bill. I'm just gonna ask who do you think is gonna win this Battle Royal?
Oh, Jesus.
It's tough.
Who do I like less? You know what? If I had my pick, I would go with Tyler Bate, because he's short and British and has a great mustache.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
What a great
pick.
answer.
But like in reality, I probably am gonna say you're not wrong with having a Dolph Ziggler pick. I'm gonna say he probably is gonna be that guy who's gonna win. I was thinking maybe Big Show because he's coming back, but I'm like, he's already won.
Yeah.
I thought he somewhat retired.
No, didn't.
There's a lot of social media presence with Big Show working out right now. He was actually going to be my pick as like a send off, because what are you going to do with Big Show moving forward? Not much.
Signed a new multi-year deal.
Did he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, Bill's right.
Yeah, he
Well,
just
I
signed
mean-
a new multi-year deal. And so, could that multi-year deal be like, I wrestle a few times a year, I only wrestle on TV, I don't know, but he's definitely with them for a few more years.
Maybe he's a house show guy, doesn't get the TV time.
Could be.
Maybe.
He's earned it. He's
remember-
also in the best shape he's ever been in his life, and it's sad that he's near like the end of his career, though. It's kind of upsetting.
Well, I remember reading something, and he had said that he likes doing the house shows. Like, he loves doing them. He loves the crowd and all that.
And the crowd loves him.
Yeah, totally. And yeah, you hear the music. Oh, it's a big show. This dude's huge. But you hear what had he said? It was on Talk is Jericho or something. He said something like he doesn't like going to the TVs if he's not going to be on TV. Like, he doesn't like being in the back. He travels to Tennessee just to sit in the back or whatever. He doesn't like. I mean, I guess no one does, but he's cool with the house shows and all that stuff. That's what I had heard. But I digress.
That's going to be my pick, Big Show.
Yeah,
I think that's kind
two-time.
of like a nice moment for him, and I think that I don't think he's really, going to be much on television that much anymore.
I got you, man. And I'm actually not huge on Ziggler either, but I'm gonna go with Ziggler just because didn't he just sign a new contract and like he was gonna leave, and I think they're all happy about him, and that'll be kind of like here's your kind of moment, and yada
Here's your
yada.
non-push for the next 2 years.
Pretty much.
Go try and be a comedian on social media. Someone posted an interesting thought to me that the Ultimate Brother himself, Hulk Hogan, would come out and enter, given his involvement with the Andre documentary, given the fact WWE is very open to having him back, and he comes out and wins it. I don't see that happening, but I'm not ruling out Hulk Hogan showing up at WrestleMania.
That's a great point.
I could, yeah, but I mean,
How do you guys feel about that? Like, would you guys be for that?
You know what? I understand that because it would be a great way to promote the Andre documentary. I know Hogan was such good friends with him and everything like that, so I could definitely see, all the entrants to the Battle Royal are in the ring getting ready. All of a sudden, you hear Dan, and you hear Real American come on, and place loses it. But yeah, I mean, I could see him doing a couple punches and a couple of big boots, and then of course someone grabs him and throws him out, and then they super heel heat right on them.
Maybe if you bring back Hogan after however many years hiatus,
200 years.
It's once again what we talked about with Daniel Bryan. He just got cleared. You're not bringing him in. You're not bringing him in to lose. If you're bringing
also,
Hogan in,
you can't throw that back out, brother.
Yeah,
that shit's fragile.
Yeah, exactly. So he'll.
His bones are literally paper mache at this point.
So he would have to do, all of, what he did. And, if you brought him into that, I think he would have to win that.
Yeah, I think so.
I would think the signing or having him come on would just be an appearance.
It's not quite as bad as James Ellsworth winning the women's ladder match.
There. Let's not go there.
But I think
let's not go there.
It can't. It's going to devalue the rest of their people if Hogan does come back and just wins it.
Well,
he comes back and competes.
So was last year when the whole reason Mojo won was so they can get friggin' Gronk in there.
Correct.
The Delta Phi douchebags. That's their new team name.
Well, didn't Hogan the last time WrestleMania was in New Orleans? Didn't Hogan come out and butcher the intro?
Host?
Yeah, he butchered the intro, right?
Oh, he said the wrong. What did he say? Superdome instead of.
Yeah, he said the dome that was in Detroit.
Yeah, I forget what he had said.
Silverdome
Silverdome instead of.
Yes.
But then, like The Rock and Steve Austin came out, and everyone's like, "All right."
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe he comes back and just rectifies that mistake and emphasizes,
right.
Hey.
Oh, is
we're
this
here
the
in
same
New
location?
Orleans.
Yeah, it's the same location. Could
Hey,
be.
raise your hand if you're going to WrestleMania next year. By the way. Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh, the
That-
bill.
Oh.
That's a great visual for a podcast.
Yeah, I was
It is.
literally just gonna say
It
that. Yeah.
is.
But
Because it was everybody.
yeah. Anyway,
There you go.
do we get all our picks on the Battle Royal? We covered a lot of ground here.
Yeah, I think we're okay.
I got 2 Zigglers. We got what do we? Who do we?
No, 3 Zigglers.
3 Zigglers and a big
Zigglers
show.
and a big show.
3 Zigglers and a big show and a possible Hogan. That I didn't even think about that. That could be very
So
interesting.
it's like 3 Zigglers at a big show. That means the most random person is actually going to win.
Yeah, totally. Which is okay.
Hey, who's the
as long as
runner-up?
who's-
Last year's runner-up was Jinder Mahal, and look what the year he had. But we can get to that.
Totally.
To the
Oh,
other
we'll
point.
get there. We will get there. Hey, we got one more kickoff match according to the WWE, and that is the Cruiserweight Championship match. And I've been enjoying the tournament. I don't know if you guys watched 205 Live.
It's
some good matches. Really
it's
good.
the best kept secret on the network. Absolutely. I mean, I watched the entire tournament. I binge watched, the first 2 rounds in a weekend, and they've done an awesome job focusing and highlighting each guy in that tournament, different styles, everything like that. I'm a big Tony Nese fan, and
Meh.
all right, okay,
Meh.
but Cedric, obviously he's fighting for the belt. I was a fan of Cedric since his days of Ring of Honor, and everything. I mean, the guy is just. Except for mic work, which of course, not everybody will ever be. No. There are some people who just will never be great at the mic, but he's got everything in the ring, and I seriously believe he could be the face of the division. Totally. I'm gonna go. So for this Cruiserweight title match with him and Mustafa Ali, I like Mustafa Ali too. My wife was rooting for Mustafa Ali. She's become a fan just by by progeny, whatever.
Putting up with you.
Putting up with me. Yeah, that was what I was going for. But I'm going to go with Cedric getting the belt this time. I'm going with Cedric.
I'm going to just touch base, and I got to give props to WWE about that Cruiserweight division because it was in shambles a couple months ago, and they reworked it, rebranded it, did what they had to do to get it on track, and I got to commend them because they, did what they had to do, and it's actually, somewhat viable right now. And I'm going to go with Cedric, and I think it's going to be awesome, like the Cruiserweight division should be, and I think will be in the future.
Well said. Bill, what do you got, man? I know you like some of these Cruiserweights.
Oh, yeah. I got to say, like you were saying, it's night and day from where it was in January. I
Totally.
mean, look at two of the. I mean, that division lost Neville, Rich Swann, Enzo, and Noam Dar and Brian Kendrick, all within a span of a couple weeks.
Well,
and they
also-
were all the ones that were getting your TV time,
Also-
not
yeah.
on the network.
And also a personal favorite of mine, even though he's kind of his own worst enemy, Austin Aries last year. But
And Austin was a bit of a douche, but I mean, like his.
yeah, no, I know. I'm not saying he's not. I know people were not happy or not sad to see him go. But
Yeah.
I thought Austin Aries was just stellar. I mean, he was. But
Yeah, he was
go
really
ahead.
good, and I thought their match was good last year, and it's a tough one because both these guys are super likable, and I think it's like Cedric has had a bad luck because every time he's ready for a title shot, it's like there's an injury or there was the Enzo situation, so it always gets halted. But Mustafa Ali, man, really, if you've watched any of those promos he's done that end up on social media, he's just like this super charismatic guy who I think, if given the ball, could actually be the biggest star on 205 Live.
I would be happy if either guy won, but I mean, I'm just going to pick.
What I want to see is Mustafa Ali wins, and then Cedric Alexander, who's been just such a ho-hum smiley guy, loses his shit and becomes a bad guy. Because I saw him in Ring of Honor be a heel, and he could do it.
I
And
saw,
it would
yeah,
give
I,
Cedric
he,
we could have a new dimension, and I think Mustafa Ali's got such a positive image. He's a Middle Eastern wrestler of Middle Eastern descent who's not a bad guy. And
that's true.
I think people really have taken him, so I'm gonna go Mustafa Ali to win.
And then the heel turn.
From
And then the heel
Cedric.
turn from Cedric, possibly on 205 Live, when he congratulates him and then beats the ever-living snot out of him.
Mike, did you have something to add there?
I mean, it would be interesting. Is like you said, if you think Cedric could be the heel, why not have Cedric after he gets the belt, shakes his hand, then attacks him afterwards and says, "You took away my moment," and then Mustafa's like, "Well, you couldn't let me have my moment at WrestleMania in front of 70,000 people." So,
Well, it'd probably be in front of 4. Because remember, that's why I felt bad about like Neville and Austin Aries last year. It was like no one there. It
which
was
is
like
a shame. And I like how Drake Younger, formerly as Rockstar Spud, he actually released a video saying he's encouraging.
Drake Younger is Drake Wirtz, the referee in NXT.
Yeah,
Former
he's
Deathmatch King. You're thinking the Rockstar Drake Maverick.
Drake Maverick. Oh, I'm thinking, Drake Younger. I said Drake. Oh, yeah, Drake Maverick. Yeah, but I mean, he posted a video online saying like he encouraging everybody. Thank you for watching the tournament. You should please tune into the W Network for the pre-show to watch this match. Everything, and I think I love the whole fact that they're like the 205 Live has been like kind of this well-kept secret, and he's trying to say like, hey, get out here and watch this match. Take 20 minutes for the pre-show and watch these two guys tear it up. And I really hope they do. I mean, if I was going to the Superdome, I would be there at 5 o'clock. I'll be dragging my wife there to sit in the seats 2 hours before the main show starts and be like, we're watching everything.
We'll be there next year.
The big fumble for me was that Rey Mysterio is not involved in this, and I didn't want him to be wrestling. Like I would have loved to see him be the guy, like because they're saying, oh, they're going to bring him in, they're going to bring him in, they're going to bring him in, and he's the guy who presents the title, because I thought that would have given that title so much more prestige. Of here's the ultimate luchador presenting the title to the winner, but that's not going to happen.
He still might.
I think they would have announced him though, because I think that would have been a big draw.
Interesting.
And also, like, I think he pissed them off a little bit by doing the New Japan thing.
Could be.
Interesting. Maybe we'll be talking about Mysterio in a little bit. I don't know. We'll talk. I have my
you have a cruiserweight division, Rob.
I have my Mysterio mask signed by Rey Mysterio right in front of us. As a matter of fact, my close personal friend.
Did you get that at WrestlePro or Jersey All Pro Wrestling?
Where did we go? In Rahway. It was Jersey All.
Jersey All Pro.
Yeah, it was with the Hardys. Yeah. I saw you there, Bill. Yeah, totally. Yeah,
I was at that one. Yeah.
My buddy got me the mask in Mexico, which is really cool, and so I brought it to get signed, and it was really, really cool. And I
think it was like 2 days before my kid was born.
Oh, dude! Oh, that's awesome, man. Look at you, man. But anyway, where was I? Cedric. I'm also gonna go with Cedric. I know what you're saying. Like, not super fantastic on the mic, but not terrible. Obviously, wowed the crowd in the Cruiserweight tournament. I was impressed, and then Triple H comes out to sign him as the crowd's chanting.
It's
sign
really
him,
me
so
and
it's
Rob
kind of,
versus Tim and Bill with these.
Hey, that's
split, with
okay.
these split predictions.
you know, I'm
tonight.
going. I feel like I'm just like playing everything safe, but
That's, you
which
know.
doesn't always work. But you know, my
But
big
also, Cedric's got a good story, man. If you ever listen to Cole Cabana did a podcast with him, I mean, there's a guy who had like nothing, built himself up, traveled with high spots, like for no money just to wrestle, and then dropped like 40 pounds just to be in the Cruiserweight Classic. I mean,
oh wow,
he's got a great story. Yeah.
Yeah, he did drop. I mean, but I know he's also said he's like, I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina. He's like, when people think of wrestling in Charlotte, they think of Ric Flair. He's like, well, in 20 years from now, I want to think of Cedric Alexander.
wow.
I think of Rex Chapman, but that's just me.
Yeah, okay.
But and I do like what.
Deep cut Charlotte Hornets.
I do like what you guys were saying about Mustafa Ali, and I had seen some of that stuff on social media. Like, he's definitely going the extra mile. I've always liked him when he was just kind of in the background, too. I thought he was really good, like, always had great matches. Nothing against him. I just think Cedric... I think Cedric's going to take it because I think he was meant to take it before the whole, Enzo thing or, Bill was saying, there's always something. I think he was on that path. It doesn't hurt that Triple H kind of came out and signed him and had his arm around him and all that stuff. When,
After the Coda match.
It doesn't hurt. You know, my big issue with Cedric, and I think they may have fixed it, was his music didn't kick, not the bass didn't drop. As a musician, like the music didn't kick in. Like it starts real quiet, and it's like a good 20 seconds before it kicks in. So he's like halfway down the ramp before it kicks in. So I think they actually caught on and they shortened it to where it kicks in. I know you guys don't think about.
No, I totally agree.
Oh, good. I thought you thought I was crazy. Yeah.
No, I get it because when I saw him at a house show a couple weeks ago at the Garden, and yeah, I knew who it was.
Just doesn't get the
From
crowd.
the first like 2 or 3 seconds, I knew exactly who it was. I'm like, oh, that's Cedric. Now I know,
Yeah,
it's
they
all
may
more
have. I feel like
recognizable.
I watched like an episode lately, and they may have like cut that long intro out of the song because it just doesn't kick in. But anyway, I digress. I think it's going to be Cedric. I almost said the Entertainer, Cedric Alexander.
That match will be entertaining.
Cedric needs to Cedric the Entertainer needs to drop about how many pounds to get in 205 Live?
Yeah, well.
I was thinking between 30 and 40.
Yeah,
All right, guys.
I like Cedric the Entertainer, but yes, not the wrestler.
All right, good stuff, guys. As always, now we are going to finally announce our Twitter winner for the FYE exclusive New Day Pop Vinyl giveaway. These are pretty cool. Thanks for everyone who followed me on Twitter. I got a lot of followers this week and retweeted the contest. I am happy to announce that, and I don't think this is your real name, but Brian Strowman, maybe it's Braun's brother, or Brains and Braun, and Brian.
The Dudleys, there's a whole family.
There you go. But it's at bpos77, we'll say. I'll shoot you a direct message, and we'll figure everything out. But you are the winner. Thanks for following, and congratulations.
Hey, congratulations.
There you go. It's a new. I'll even throw a Bob Culture
Way to
stick.
go.
Yeah. I love the enthusiasm, guys.
Way to go, you son of a bitch.
We'll even throw a Bob Culture podcast sticker in there for you. All right, just for a little shameless promotion.
Damn generous of you, free sticker.
Thanks, Stone Cold. You the man. All right.
I
What?
believe.
Hey, that's pretty good, I gotta say.
Oh,
It's
boy.
like, is he from Minneapolis area or the St. Paul Twin Cities? I should know. I used to do a lot of campaigning around there.
Oh, boy. 2 hours later. All right, guys, let's talk about a match that I'm really excited for. I'm probably going to go on a little rant, and it's not going to be my pyro rant, which I went on the Survivor Series, how they got rid of the pyro, and I believe that they confirmed that there will be pyro at WrestleMania, because let's face it, there needs to be pyro all the time, and AJ Styles' music literally has a cue for the pyro, so let's make sure that there's fireworks and pyro.
Rob
And,
versus
let's not-
safety hazards.
of course, that's not my issue.
I know.
I digress, as I have several times. But we have The Bar, who I think we're all pretty big fans of, Cesaro
Absolutely, yeah.
particularly, and I like Sheamus, versus Braun and Brains Strowman. No, Braun and question mark. Guys, I want to hear who you think is going to be Braun's partner and who he's going to win with. So, Bill, take it away.
Tyler Bate. No, or I just like British wrestling, so I just gotta say that.
Yeah.
I honestly think what should happen is, or the theories I've heard too is like whoever he's gonna team with is someone he's eventually gonna feud with, and so if that's the prevailing theory, because I think him just beating the bar by himself is kind of devalues a tag team division that's been historically devalued. So I really think it's good. I hope, and I think it could be Samoa Joe. He's already confirmed he's in New Orleans. There's Instagram pictures of him there. So what better way to, if he's forced to have a partner, the Samoan submission machine and the monster among men go in there, and then I'd love to see that feud, man, because someone's going to get some hands. And I think whoever his partner is, they will win. And Braun, I also think it's a bunch of crap that Braun Strowman's not going for the title, but
I agree. I think
he's the most over dude in that company, and I think if they're looking for a crossover star, I just watched a video of him being interviewed by NOLA.com, where he said he's like, I'm just gonna go put a dent in the crayfish population tonight, and I'm just like, who doesn't love a guy who just loves crustaceans?
I don't know, Bill. I think that's pretty shellfish.
Oh,
Jesus!
And we're out.
Jesus Christ, Rob. But it's Braun and TBD are definitely going to win, but I'm going to pick Samoa Joe as his partner.
Nice. And I'm going to jump in here, just kind of piggyback off what you said. Guys, slow me down if I go off on another round. I know I'm wild and crazy all the time.
I swear to God, if you pick Ryback, I'm getting off this.
Oh, gosh. No, it's not Ryback. I completely agree with you, Bill. Why not strike when the iron's hot? Like, Braun has been on fire. The cello thing has been great. Even like the brains thing where he brought out his brother, can't be in the same place at the same time.
Yeah.
Hilarious. Like, it's great, but he's also dominating everyone. In that Elimination Chamber match, I think most of us were rooting for him, not Roman Reigns, but he eliminated everyone except himself. Well, obviously, and Roman Reigns, but he eliminated everyone in that match, if you think about it. He's been dominant. Like, strike when the iron's hot. Like, don't wait around on this. Like, even if you had to make that match a triple threat match, who's like powerful enough to get that title off of Brock Lesnar? I think it's him. And these are not typically the guys that I like. Mike, you know this more than anyone. Absolutely. I like the high flyers, the cruiserweights, like the risk takers. I'm not really usually into like the big strong guys, obviously Kane being the exception. But I'm not usually into that, literally brawn, over, high flying ability and all that stuff. Like, but I like Braun Strowman. I like what he's doing. He's great on the mic. Him coming out with the stand-up bass, upright bass, fantastic. Like, he's been brilliant. And he could sing, yeah. And I listened to him on the Stone Cold podcast. Seemed like a pretty intelligent guy. Former strongman or something like that.
He's a former strongman competitor. Yes.
Yeah.
You know who he reminds me a lot of?
Go. Who?
Me, you dumb son of a bitch.
I'm a
really is Steve Austin. I mean, he's that guy who can be funny and charismatic and charming, but at the same time, he will straight up kill you. Like, and that was the thing with Steve Austin. He was funny. He was a badass, And like, you could get behind him when he was singing, taking the acoustic guitar and singing. But you also know that he could literally take that guitar string and wrap it around your neck because he's a maniac. And I think that's what Braun Strowman has, and that no one else can have that. Like, Roman Reigns is not charismatic and funny. John Cena is funny, but you don't consider him like a destroyer, Brock Lesnar they have to have someone talk for him for a reason.
Yeah.
And I think Braun the dude could throw a wicked dropkick.
Yeah, and that's another impressive thing. The agility and the speed. Who was it that was running away? The Miz or something? He ran all the way up and caught him. Just impressive. And they've done everything with him right in such a short amount of time, since he left the Wyatts, except putting him in this tag team match.
He was terrible. That he used to hug guys to death.
Yeah, impressive specimen for sure. But like the gimmick. I guess it kind of worked. But this is so much better, and it's working for him. And he deserves gold or championships or titles, however they want to say it. I don't think the tag team championship's the way to go. I'll give them some points for being interesting and having him win that battle royal. That's an interesting direction. You have the mystery partner to bring someone back. That's all interesting. But like I said, strike when the iron's hot. I think Braun is the guy to win the title, like the big title. And I like guys to climb the ladder and climb the ranks before they get the big title. I don't think he's held any gold, if I'm correct. And I think the Universal title is the way to go, I totally agree with you, Bill. That being said, and I'm sorry for going off on a rant, I'll shut up for a little bit. I'm wishing it's Rey Mysterio, kind of build off that team Little Big thing. I know
Oh, man, that would be amazing.
Oh, dude. Well, I mean, nothing's really going to beat him coming back at the Royal Rumble, but this would be great. Be a great way to bring him back. And even a Braun versus Rey feud would be fun. I think we know how that would end. But Samoa Joe, I love. I think that'd be great. A lot of people are throwing out Elias. I hope that's not the case. We didn't say anything about Bray Wyatt in the Battle Royal. He was thrown into the lake of reincarnation.
They already ruined the fact he will be there. He was on Braun's Instagram that he was showing.
I did see that. You're right. So I'm sure he'll be in the Battle Royal, or maybe he'll be with Braun. Who knows? But
I think that'd be terrible.
Yeah, no, there's no reason to do that. I hope it's Ray. I just can't shut up about my favorite guys. But I'm gonna say Braun Strowman's finally gonna get a title. I wish it was the Universal title. And I'll shut up. Go ahead. Tim or Mike, take it away.
I just can't get over the fact that how over Braun actually is. Like, Vince loves these big guys. He always pushes these big guys. But to actually have them so over with the crowd, because he's not relatable as we are, because we are not huge human beings who can destroy things. But he is
Speak
over
for yourself.
with everybody. So, I mean, I'm all in on Braun Strowman. I think just, whatever they want to do with him, I'm on board, and it's going to be awesome. So Braun's, and his partner is my pick here. Samoa Joe would be great, and I would be on board with a Samoa Joe and Braun Strowman feud. That would be awesome. I mean, if it was Bray, I could kind of see them doing a mini reunion just to get Bray in a match, but I think that would be awful for the fans anyway. So I think it's just going to be Braun and whoever his teammate is.
Well, now that you're mentioning Samoa Joe, and I would love it if it was Samoa Joe, because he's a guy I'm a big fan of, and I was pissed that he got hurt and won't think he was going to be a part of the card. But yeah, there would be
him and Cena were the original WrestleMania program.
I like that.
I would have loved to have seen that. And I also think that this could be a scenario where Braun's like, all right, I'll stay out of my way. I'm the head. And Samoa Joe, of course, doesn't play well with others either. So I could see Samoa Joe either walking out on him or just saying whatever. But I'm gonna go out in the end here. I'm gonna go with the Bar retaining. And to be honest, I love Sheamus and Cesaro. I love their team. I love that they've gelled their look and everything so well together. So I'm gonna go with Sheamus and Cesaro holding on, but I'm only gonna go maybe because they didn't beat the other team. It could be the fact the other team beats themselves and they just come in and sneak in and get it, Because I just don't see.
I was wondering if Sheamus was gonna be done for a while, because there's that whole thing where his neck is really bad.
I heard something about that. Good point. I didn't even think about that.
I hope that's not the case, because I'd love to see, But I'm gonna go out on a limb here from you guys. I'm gonna say Sheamus and Cesaro hold on. Maybe they're gonna be
if it's the scenario you're going with, I would be totally fine with that.
Yeah, and if it sets up the Samoa Joe versus Strowman feud, all about that too. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would like to be on record again, just saying that I want Cesaro pushed into some title picture, not the tag title picture.
Correct.
The no hands airplane spin.
Haven't seen it yet on TV.
The torture rack, hands airplane spin. I don't think we'll be seeing it this Mania, because I just don't see it happening with a 380-pound dude like Strowman.
Yeah.
But I'm still waiting for him to bust that out.
Me too.
It's an amazing
Saw it
sight
in
to
ROH.
behold. Yeah, it's crazy. But
crazy.
Like I said, I'm a Bar fan, and Sheamus and Cesaro, love them together, and I hope they hold on to it. And I'll just go out and say, yeah, they're going to hold on to it.
We are the Bar. Building off that, we're talking about the mystery partner for Braun. Do you guys see any surprises during Mania? I'm sure The Rock will show up in some capacity and talk, or have a short match, which is always fun.
No, they said he definitely. They're like really dead set against him wrestling now, because when he did that thing with Eric Rowan, he got hurt, and he got in a lot of shit with the movie productions he was doing.
He got hurt at the match, the last WrestleMania at MetLife 29, where his match with Cena. He tore his ab muscles off the bone.
Ugh.
And he still finished the match. He's a freak athlete, and I know he couldn't do a lot of PR work for his last movie or his movie around that time. And yeah, Hollywood were mad. They didn't want him wrestling anymore. They don't want to risk him getting hurt because, this is the guy who's like, making $800 million a year doing various pictures.
Oh yeah, one of the highest grossing actors I think per year, right? So,
He's in every movie.
Yeah.
Like, go to the box office. 3 of the movies have The Rock.
yes, no, yeah, you're not
It's
wrong.
not an exaggeration.
You're not wrong. But who do you guys think will show up as a surprise at Mania, if anyone? The pattern usually is it's the night after, which is always a fun Raw. That's when everyone checks in. That's when there's the call-ups. So if you guys want to address that as well. I know, Bill, you're working on something with Pop Break that, I'll let that speak for itself.
It's mostly your calls. So I'm just adding like one. I'll be honest, I'm going to go with the one I think Chris Jericho is going to show up. And thinking back on it, would it shock me if Chris Jericho was Daniel Bryan's partner to take on his old buddy Kevin Owens? Because I just looked at, I know everyone's like, he's playing a show.
Yeah, that's what I had heard.
That show is at 3:45 in New Hampshire. He plays an hour show, gets on a flight. That match is going to be late in the card. We didn't expect him to be in New Japan, so why not?
No time difference. Yeah, I guess not. Yeah, with the flights.
Mike is very excited.
My
about
eyes
you.
went so wide after you mentioned that.
Because I just looked at it. He's in Portland, Maine. Okay, it's in Maine. No. I'm sorry. It's New Hampshire. And I just looked at tickets. I'm like, I wonder when it starts. And the show starts at doors at 2:30, show 3:45, and right underneath it says, oh, it does say stay and watch WrestleMania with the band.
Yeah, I did see something about that, but you never know, man. You never know.
I just hope, because the fact that
it could be the band, but not Chris Jericho.
Unless spring is, because spring's been taking forever to get here. Let's hope there's not another snowstorm up in the Northeast where,
Oh, yeah, it's actually happening.
Yeah.
That's what makes me worry about next year's WrestleMania.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't rain on WrestleMania. And Vince always says that, and I believe him. Vince knows all.
Jericho. I think all the ones like would it surprise me if we saw like in the Battle Royal if we saw like a Pete Dunne or like some guys from NXT like CN or
Authors of Pain, man. I'm
Ricochet.
Yeah, Ricochet.
That would surprise me, but I think at the night after Raw, like I think Rob and I have the same ones. Seeing Sanity called up, seeing Andrade, CN almost calling up. Wouldn't be surprised if Johnny Gargano might show up, maybe 205 Live or somewhere else.
I think him and I was gonna say like Gargano could show up on 205 Live and then say I'm entering the cruiserweight division. And then what happens? Ciampa beats him up again. Ciampa's like, well, so am I. You're not getting rid of me. It's basically like that monkey's never gonna shake off his back kind of thing.
Best feud in WWE, hands down. And yeah, I think there's a couple. I know some people think of Velveteen Dream, but I think he's got a little more time down in NXT.
No, he's not getting up this soon. Yeah, I mean, the
No.
only reason they would do it, and if they did do it, it would be mistakes. It's way too soon for him. Let him develop, become one of the top heels in NXT. Maybe even getting a title shot next in maybe 6 months from now, like an NXT title shot. Too soon for him. Andrade overdue. Authors of Pain, I'm a big fans of. They're overdue. And
I'm hearing rumors that, actually I saw it on Pro Wrestling Tees. Get your Pentagon and Phoenix T-shirts because they're not going to be around after WrestleMania weekend. Maybe the Lucha Brothers come to WWE.
Huh.
I would not say, and they're also doing a whole bunch of matches. They're doing, I don't know if you guys saw the Access tournaments they're doing, where they're bringing in guys from Evolve and Progress from the UK to take on WWE guys to fight for the UK
tournament,
the NXT tag, the Women's Division Championship, and a few others. So don't be surprised if Keith Lee or Walter or guys like that, or even Matt Riddle show up at NXT.
Wow, good stuff, man. Getting the inside info here. This is good stuff.
Oh, this is all bullshit. I'm just coming up with stuff.
No, yeah, well,
well, it's good to brainstorm. I mean, one of those things got to be right. Hopefully, we'll see what we got.
Well, I mean, Drew Galloway was the big surprise last year because he was booked for all those events, and then I actually watched the documentary on it. Like they did a little documentary on him just his weekend, and he got this call out of the blue saying, "Hey, we want to sign you."
Well, one guy I'm actually didn't really care that they signed is EC3. I really does nothing for me. So
I'm not as familiar with him, but I saw him I kind of like, that heel kind of arrogant. I was cool with it. Is he good in the ring? I don't really know him as well.
He's solid.
He's solid. Okay. He looked like a solid heel.
He's solid. He's not like his mic work and his persona are better than what he can do in the ring.
Okay, I understand.
In my opinion.
I'm excited.
Also, don't be surprised. James Storm. I heard he might be in tow.
Oh, there you go.
Well, if he gets back on the roster, beer money back together.
There you go.
Bobby Roode would be like, God damn it! I just want to get rid of away from this tag team.
Yeah. Can Bobby Roode be a heel already? Anyway, no, we're not going there. We'll get there when we get there. But and a little cheap plug here. Obviously, check out. I almost said popbreak.com, but the Pop Break. Check it out. Bill, that's your baby right there, and we have our NXT call-up predictions coming out soon. So guys, check it out. The popbreak.com.
Yes.
Tomorrow.
Winner.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Good stuff. All right, gentlemen, where do we go from here? Let's talk about this one. I know you guys have a lot to say about Rowdy Ronda Rousey teaming up with Kurt Angle versus The Authority, Triple H, and Stephanie McMahon. Let's just get right to it. What do we think of Ronda being in the WWE? What do we think about the mic skills? What do we think about what she's done so far? What do we expect from her, and who's going to win? Tim, take it away, bro.
Well, first and foremost, how ridiculous is Triple H's entrance going to be this year? I don't know yet.
Oh my God!
I am eager and ready, but I have no idea. So we'll see how that goes.
He's like gonna come down like a friggin' X-wing fighter. He's gonna land and he's gonna come out with just like dancing skeletons this year.
I'm all in. Well, whatever. Let's do
Was
it.
there anything with the Terminator skeletons from a couple years ago?
But that was so sweet, though. All right. Anyway, bringing in arguably the biggest name in MMA and female, bringing her into WWE is a fantastic move. Now, whether or not her ring skills are going to be up to par at this point, we'll see. Her mic skills, definitely not. But, I mean, it's not, it's speaking in front of all these people. It was never her strong suit anyway. Like, she would do press conferences, but that wasn't, cutting
She's a fighter.
It wasn't cutting a promo. So, I mean, she needs to, get better at that. But it takes time. We'll see what happens. As long as I could see a little, Triple H and Kurt Angle hit all their spots, and Rousey, she's going to get Stephanie in an armbar of sorts, and we'll see what happens. I mean, it'll be all right. I see Rousey and Angle pulling this out. So I mean, I think it'll be good. I think that it might have the potential to be like the lull of the night, though. Like, I'm looking forward to it, but I'm not, I'm not making sure that I'm sitting down in front and watching for that fight.
I agree with you on that. Like, yeah, it's not one of my, matches I'm looking forward to most. I mean, at all. But, it will be interesting. I mean, we're just going to watch to see Ronda Rousey put her in the armbar and make her tap out. That's all we're going to want to watch. But as far as, like, Ronda Rousey's promo skills go, I wouldn't mind if someone like a Paul Heyman, like, became, like, her manager and started talking her up the same way he does Brock. And the fact that she's a legitimate badass fighter and he can ramble off her accomplishments, Olympic medalist and, women's division starter in UFC, everything. And then just have her come out with, like, wearing, like, her hoodie up in the air and everything like that, and just kind of just going in there and beating people up like crazy. I would love to see that. As far as like after this match. But as far as this match goes, no, Ronda Angle, done.
Bill, what do you got over there? I know you got some opinions on this one.
If I could cheap plug it for a second, like Edge and Christian. The cheap plug is that I just wrote a story on the popbreak.com about how this, to me, and you guys might think I'm just like out of my mind, but this is one of the most important matches in the modern era of WWE. There has been no competitor that has ever been signed, even going back to when the WWF started, that has been as major. No one has come into WWE with the amount of fame and the amount of cachet and just the amount of significance from another sport or another part of entertainment as Ronda Rousey. I mean, you even want to talk about like people. There have been, sure, there have been football players who made the transition. There have been actors who've done things here and there, but none of them have had the impact or could have the potential impact that Ronda has. Because if she's really good in that ring on her debut, it's going to silence a lot of people who don't like her. And there are a lot of people who don't like her. Go to any WWE social media post, and they want her gone already. They're like, get rid of her. She's awful. She's taking someone's spot. You're hearing Ronda sucks chants already. I'm waiting for the Ronda lousy chants, which I trademarked and hope to get royalties off of.
Very nice.
But if Ronda is successful, the build that's going to happen or should happen is it's going to silence a lot of the haters. You now have your second crossover star besides John Cena, and John Cena's not going to be there often. If Ronda's all in, there's your new crossover mainstream star, Ronda Rousey. That gives WWE more ability to negotiate TV deals all around the world, including the United States. You now build the road to the first ever female headliner at WrestleMania, which I think if she's successful, it will be next year, and it will be Ronda Rousey and Charlotte. Because I think Ronda's gonna take Asuka's streak, and then I think her and Charlotte are on a collision course for Mania 35. And I think it will draw really well. You open up a brand new fan base because the women will be at the forefront of WWE for the first time ever. It gives the men's division the time it needs to breathe to actually properly develop a star. So they're not doing like what they did Roman Reigns 3 years ago, push them to the top way too fast, or like what we said with The Miz. If Ronda Rousey sucks in the ring, the WWE is screwed. They have put a lot of money into her. People are going to laugh at her. The mainstream media is going to lambaste her. Everyone who said she ran away from UFC because she lost will just, it'll just ramp up. Botchamania is going to go crazy. The gifs and the memes of just her doing something dumb is going to be everywhere, and WWE is going to have to throw a buttload of money to course correct this. And a buttload of money would be, hey, Paul Heyman, we know you're leaving, but we need you to come back. And they need to take Ronda off TV, and they need to do a whole repackage because she will be a laughingstock.
Wow. Man.
Maybe I'm putting way too much on this. Maybe. But I don't think I'm too far off.
No, dude.
I think this match will be good because I think Triple H is not going to let this match be bad. Kurt Angle needs to really bring it, though. He has been an abomination in this feud. He cannot talk when he's given lines anymore. I remember when he chastised the crowd against Jason Jordan when they booed him that he got hurt. He was perfect. He was pissed, and he was real, damn real.
Right.
But he's been terrible here. He can't talk. He can't do anything. So he needs to knock it out of the park. I think Stephanie, who's someone I really don't like, I think she's going to take an ass whipping from Ronda Rousey. But Ronda is a star, and I feel bad that like her debut is such a big one. But she needs to show up and be a star and do the best she can. And I think she's going to surprise people that she actually has been training for a lot longer than people think. I heard she had been training in Florida for a while, not NXT, but she had trained in the Midwest a little bit too, in secret. So she's been doing this a while. So I'm hoping that she knocks it out of the park because the sky's the limit if she can show that she's the real deal.
She
can't talk shit.
Yeah, it's absolutely awful.
Well, you can get Heyman to be the mouthpiece for her for that, but everything else is on her, and I think she'll do fine with
legit,
it.
Yeah, but we say that, but he's legit saying he's leaving. He's got a TV show that's already there, and oh my god, the guys from It Lives or Breathes just posted on social media that Elias is doing a concert right now.
Of course, that's amazing.
Yep.
All good stuff, Bill. Really well said. I'll have to check out that article. Is it up right now? The article?
Yes, it is.
Oh, I'll definitely read it. Really, really well said. I just wonder. I'm curious. I wonder what it would be like if Paul Heyman did a Ronda Rousey intro or something. Like what it would sound like.
I don't know, but I'm not. My voice still hurts.
Oh, okay. I
I'm
was trying to get a point.
I will say though they've invested a lot of money in that, and I could see if, like Bill was saying, that her and Charlotte next year. Oh, totally. And it might even be, if not the main event spot, then definitely the second to last match. And I could see Joan Jett being there in person doing her theme song and
sweet.
everything and all that. And yeah, Ronda Rousey obviously being a judo champion, yeah, she knows they're trained how to fall and take bumps. It's all throws and slams and stuff like that. So,
And she took that body choke slam pretty well on Monday.
yes.
Through a table, correct? Was that what we're talking about?
Yeah, she didn't sell it 100% well, but but I think she's committed. Like she said, like UFC, I brought that to the mainstream, especially for the women's divisions there. And now I'm doing it for WWE. This is a new challenge for me. I definitely believe she is a fan. Will she be?
Which is important.
Of course, it's important. Yeah, definitely. And I definitely see her giving 100%. Will she be the greatest women's wrestler of all time? Maybe not. I mean, only time will tell with that. Like Charlotte, like I said, I bring up the fact that Charlotte came and took to it like so fast. Ronda Rousey, she may have to work a little harder at it, but again, she's one of those people who's.
I don't know. I don't know if she has to work that hard, because if you know anything about the schedule for training for MMA, anything about the schedule for training for wrestling, she's gonna work equally, if not harder, than anybody to get where she has to go. So, when we say that, she's going to surprise some people, would it really surprise you if she came out and she was just awesome?
I'm going to be open-minded. I'm going to be open-minded and see what happens. There's no way I see Ronda losing in her debut. I think we all agree on that. And I'm not going to sit here and be a guy who, I'm not going to beat up on Ronda Rousey. She could kill me, so I'll definitely
physically, you can't.
I'll definitely be open-minded. Some of the execution and timing with some of the lines was a bit awkward to watch, but there's a learning curve. So I'll be not to disagree with what you said, Bill. I think you had some really great points. I'll try to go into this open-minded, and hopefully she wows the crowd. But we shall see, because like Bill said, you might have some of those gifs or awkward moments. The social media might go crazy, but I will definitely be open-minded, and she's a fan. She's straight up to the main roster because of her star power. And honestly, if you're Stephanie McMahon, just character-wise and storyline-wise, like, you're really going to talk that way to Ronda Rousey? Like, it doesn't make... She should be, like, afraid for her life.
That's the thing with McMahon's character. The McMahons have always been smart, saying, oh, yeah, we always were the obnoxious heels, and crowd boos us, but if you want to see us get beat up, you're going to have to pay for it.
Well, finally, they're going to have someone beat up Stephanie. My biggest problem with her over the past week, ever since even Daniel Bryan, his run where he was against the Authority, was she just talks so much shit to people and slaps them around, and just there's no comeuppance. Like Vince McMahon, Shane McMahon, Triple H, like the whole purpose of a heel is they get their comeuppance, and she never really has.
She went through a table last year. Seth Rollins knocked in his...
Oh, God. That was just like, bump. It was like... But there's no one who's ever... Like, that was an accidental thing.
So you want to see Stephanie's, shoulder popped out of its socket on Sunday night. Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, think about what we've always seen. Like, why did we love Vince McMahon versus Steve Austin? Because he got his hands on Steve Austin. Stephanie McMahon goes up to everyone and all these guys, slaps them, talks shit. And no one could do anything. We're not in an era where men and women get involved in wrestling anymore. And so I do want to see Stephanie McMahon take a beating. I don't want to see her in a wheelchair, but this is the comeuppance that she's been building for like 5 years that needs to happen.
Good call. And you know what? Now that you mention it, I think Ronda Rousey's going to own Triple H in a couple spots. For sure.
He's gonna sell for her like nobody's business.
Yeah, exactly. Well said. I think we'll end it on that note. As far as this match, really well said. Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle all around.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Ding ding ding. All right, good job, guys. That's why.
Unanimous.
That's right. All right, let's talk about always been somewhat of a controversial topic as far as their gimmick. I definitely came around. I always admit I was wrong on this one. The Usos, who have been putting on phenomenal matches, versus the New Day, Feel the Power, versus the Bludgeon Brothers, Is that it? The Bludgeon Brothers? I always say it wrong.
That's it. Yeah,
But
that's it.
I know there'll be some opinions here. I'm going to let Mike lead on this one because he had mentioned something about the Bludgeon Brothers. He had a very good point. If you follow, you know what you were saying to me the other day.
All right. Well, first I'm going to say about the Usos.
Dude, I just let you in about the blood. Come on.
I'm not doing the Bludgeon Brothers. But it's the same match.
You had a very good point. I didn't want to
All
steal
right,
your
look.
thunder, but go ahead.
Okay, people forget, Bludgeon Brothers, whatever the hell you want to call them, they're still Harper and Rowan, who've had incredible matches in the past with the Usos and with the New Day. You know, don't forget that. Back when they were the Wyatts and back when the Usos had like the neon face paint, they had great series of matches. 2 out of 3 falls, and steel cages and everything like that, and all sorts of stuff. So forget about the whole 97 Kane attire and and the cheesy cloaks and the sledgehammers. When push comes to shove, they will put on a great match with these guys. It's been proven. That's why you put these 3 teams together. I don't know if it'll be like the match of the night, but it will be better than a lot of people think it will be. And I'm actually rooting for the Usos to hold on here. They deserve this so much. To me, they've been the tag team equivalent of the Miz the last 12 months. They've better than they've ever been. They've done so well. I'm so happy.
And they've not had their WrestleMania match
They
or
have not
moment.
had their
Like they
big
haven't been on the
moment, and
card.
they so
or
deserve it.
main
I mean,
card. How many years? 7 years, something like that.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
something
That was
like
a great
that.
point. So they got to be on the main show.
And not to pat myself on the back. You hear that? I said that I
We'll
liked
put it in
this.
post.
Yeah,
That was very Barry Horowitz of you.
Yeah, I liked this gimmick from day one ish.
Yeah.
Come on. No, when they went heel, I'm
What?
like, when the Usos went heel a year and a half ago, and I'm like, they need to do this. They need to change themselves, and basically being like, yeah, we're we're kind of we're about to a little bit of thug life and all this stuff, and we're down and dirty. We're wearing jeans and tank tops and backwards hats. Fine, but we're still bringing it in the ring, and we're still just they're doing the way they play off each other. It's like a reflection of their real life persona, and I love it. And slowly they've earned respect from everyone, and I think they're doing an amazing job. And I definitely want the Usos. I'm rooting for the Usos in this match to win, and I hope they win.
All right, Bill, what do you think about these tag teams?
This is a tough one to call because everyone could take something away from me because if the New Day wins, that's the big pop to the crowd. Everyone goes, "Oh, happy." Bludgeon Brothers really need something. This would help propel them. And the Usos, they finally get their moment, and it's a reward for just working hard. That doesn't always happen with WWE at WrestleMania. But I'm going to go outside the box. I'm going to say the Bludgeon Brothers are going to win. It's not a popular opinion, but it's just that's the team that needs it the most, because otherwise it's just what's the point? So I'm going to go with those guys. I think like you were saying, I think it's going to be a really good match. Because these guys are all going to bring it. Everyone kind of forgets Luke Harper. I mean, I'm not as big an Eric Rowan fan as everyone, but Luke Harper's amazing. And he's, in the best shape of his life.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to do some crazy things in this match. And I could see them walking away with it. I'm not, I would rather probably see the other guys win, but I think that it's going to be the brothers.
All right.
Oh, Bludgeon.
Tim, go ahead, man.
Yeah, I mean, it could really go any way. I've noticed that the Bludgeon Brothers, since been added to this match, they've gotten a push on the live shows. So in that regard, maybe they get the pinfall. Maybe they put the belts on them. I'm going to say the New Day just because I want
New Day rocks.
I want New Day back on the title. I miss having them around as much as we used to have them.
All right, good, all good stuff, guys. I'm going to keep this short and sweet. I'm going to say the Usos, this is their moment. They deserve it. Really, a year of hard work. I'm talking in terms of WrestleMania and pay-per-view years, or however you want to put it. The big 4 pay-per-views, however you want to say it. I'm not a fan of the Bludgeon Brothers gimmick, but again, Mike, to your point, and Bill as well, they're Luke Harper and Eric Rowan. I think I'd read a comment or someone said this, why not let Luke Harper just be Luke Harper? I'm not a fan of their gimmick or their costumes or the hammers or the hoods. It's kind of old school, which might sound cool on paper, but it's, they could just be, like Mike said, Rowan and Harper and just be that tag team. But I'm going to keep it short and sweet and say that the Usos finally get their WrestleMania moment. Cool. All right, where are we going next, gentlemen? Oh, it's time. We talked about this a little bit already. It's time for, as always, our Dr. Drew, Dr. Phil, whatever you want to say, relationship, friendship segment here. We're talking about, of course, the Raw Women's Championship match. Mike's personal favorite, Little Miss Bliss, versus one of your wife's favorites, Nia Jax.
Yes.
You sing the song. And the whole storyline was, they were best friends, and it was pretty much what did you say, like a high school thing, Mike, or how did you put it?
They made it a little bit like a high school drama thing. I mean, whatever. I mean, the whole Mean Girls cliquey thing, it was okay. I personally would have gone a different route. I would have been like, Alexa Bliss is like, is scared to eventually face Nia Jax, so she's gonna I'm just gonna have her as my backup now. Like maybe like if you're someone you're scared to someone you're scared if you're a quarterback and you don't want to throw against like someone else on defense, you want them on your team. You don't want them to against them. So I think she wanted her on her team. It would have been something like, hey, Nia Jax, I don't want to face you, so I'm going to be nice to you so I don't eventually have to face you, kind of thing. And maybe Nia Jax is getting sick of being like, backup.
Who do you think is going to win?
Keep it short. I'm going to say Nia Jax gets this one.
Tim.
I think I'm going like full down the checklist. Just everybody is giving up the belts.
Title changes.
No, this one kind of just makes sense. It seems like they've been building Nia Jax as this unstoppable force, and I think that WWE did a fantastic job of having Asuka head over to SmackDown
Agreed.
to set up Nia Jax winning this title. So I think it's going to be Nia Jax.
Well, real short and sweet. I love it. Well said. Bill, what do you got?
I'm going to stick with my prediction from earlier that Nia Jax gets the ultimate feel-good win, and either right afterwards or on Monday Night Raw, she drops it to Carmella.
Wow, good stuff, guys. I like this. I'm going to agree with all of you. I'm going to say Nia Jax. I think this is going to be somewhat of a squash match. Like, I think, because we got a lot of matches on this card, I think this is going to be the quick one. I think it's going to be quicker than it should be. No offense to Alexa Bliss or anything like that, Mike.
I'm not offended. This is what
I just think it's going to be
nowhere for Alexa to run this time, storyline wise. She's in the ring.
Except Mickey James flip flopping, good guy, bad guy. That's kind of all over the place.
Don't you ever talk bad about Mickey
No,
James.
I'm not. Honestly, I'm not. No, how old is she? She's killing it. She's absolutely killing it. Just character wise.
Adam's favorite.
Well, yeah. But anyway, where was I? Nia Jax, I think this is going to be a squash match, a short match. And yeah, I think it's her time. Doesn't hurt that you're cousins with The Rock either.
No.
It does not.
No.
All right, we're moving right along here. We didn't really kind of psychoanalyze their relationship or anything, but I think we're good.
Yeah, it'll be all right.
I think we're good.
I think it's pretty much on the nose.
Yeah.
We know what's happening.
Yeah. we had a whole Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, friendship talk when it got real, it got real. But anyway, let's go into this one. I know you guys are excited about this. We have Bobby Roode. This match could be glorious versus Bill's personal favorite, Randy Orton.
Randy Orton.
Versus the modern day Maharaja.
You didn't roll your R's when you said that.
Hey, man,
Yeah, it's okay.
Jinder Mahal.
Sultan of steroids, yeah.
The Sultan of steroids.
Wow. Don't hinder the gender.
Listen, dude, he
Don't
cut
hinder the
all the
gender.
alcohol out, and
No more cheat days. None.
It's like Andy on Parks and Recreation. Oh, how'd you get something? Oh, I stopped drinking beer. Come on. All right. But anyway, this should be a fun match. I think this could be a good match.
You're forgetting the fourth person in the match.
Oh, of course. How could I?
It's Rusev Day.
That's right. How could I? I feel terrible. How could I forget Rusev? And the match, of course, ironically falls on Rusev Day. So just what are the odds of that? But happy for Rusev. He's got a big push. He's brilliant. He's funny. He made it work. This was all him. I'll let you guys take it over. I mean, we got 4 people. This could be exciting. I think we're going to see a title change. I know Tim thinks that. Let's go with Tim because I know he's going to pick a title change.
Yeah. I think that the surprise push of Rusev has been fantastic. Like, the crowd really has jumped on his side, and it's been overwhelming. And I think if WWE, I mean, I don't think they have like a clear direction they really want to go. And I do like Bobby Roode, and I think he's awesome. And, you know, I've loved all of the stuff that he did with TNA and whatnot. I'm just gonna say Rusev because I think he needs something moving forward. And you can just jump on this and it'll be good for a couple months or a couple of weeks, and they can, you know, push a couple of different rivalries and you know, I think it'll be moving forward. It would be better, you know, if Rusev won.
I'm gonna go in a different direction with that. I'm going with Jinder Mahal here, and because this is the title he should have had. He had his WWE Championship run last year. His character and everything else, it's primed to be a mid-card heel, perfect, you know. And plus, it's the United States Championship, and of course, he's so anti-US and everything else that. And I mean, his character, it's too perfect to not put together like that. And Bobby Roode, if Bobby Roode was a heel right now, I would love to see Bobby Roode get this belt.
Correct.
You know?
And he's had it, but he should be a heel.
He needs to be a heel. Rusev, I mean, I love Rusev. Like you said, I'm so happy with his turnaround and everything like that. But I don't see him getting it this time. I'm actually glad he's in the match, but I don't see him getting the belt. Randy Orton, I know how your feelings about Randy Orton, Bill, but he can fluctuate from the main event to the mid-card back and forth, 10 times over. But Jinder Mahal, I don't see Jinder ever getting back to the main event, or at least the world title. So I see him being the U.S. champion and having a very lengthy run as United States champion.
I'll agree with you, Mike. I think everything you said about Jinder is right. Him being, obviously, I see him being United States champion for a while, but I also think that's going to set up a feud with Rusev, just like more of a one-on-one feud. I could see them fighting each other.
That schnoz is going to be, in front of the camera for
nose.
a long time. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But
Triple H beak.
Yeah. But I'm definitely just going to stick with Mike and keep it short and sweet. I think it just makes sense on paper for Jinder to take the title. I don't think Orton needs it. Rude had it already. I think, actually, Rusev had a really long, not a long run, but he had a run with the U.S. title for a while.
Rusev was in a feud streak. He had
been there, done that, but he could certainly get it. I see him feuding with Jinder a little bit more. So Jinder for my winner. Bill, go ahead. I know it's not Randy Orton.
Oh, well, here's the thing. It's like Randy Orton, he didn't need to. Bray Wyatt needed to keep that title last year, but fucking put it on Randy Orton, Mister. I have 2 moves. I don't give a shit when I'm in the ring. The most bored-looking wrestler I've ever seen in my life. The Roman Reigns before he was Roman Reigns. If anyone was ever shoved down our throat, it was Randy Orton, guys, and everyone loves him. And I think he's just fucking garbage. He's a 2-move wrestler.
Tell us how you really feel, Bill.
Yeah.
Oh, I think he's a douchebag. So anyway, which to me means you can't rule out the fact he'll win, because Randy Orton wins usually don't make any sense. There's no logic behind them. He doesn't need to win, but he does. Did he need the U.S. title? I fucking need the U.S. title. But so that's why I was glad I was able to curse. I think it's gotta be Rusev, man. You gotta put he's got this organic build. People love him. And I think putting the U.S. title on him, and I think it's just going to allow him to be more creative. I think having him lose is just going to kind of derail what he's doing, and which is even more a reason why Randy Orton's probably going to win. But I really think Rusev's going to be my pick, because I think Bobby Roode is going to move up to the main event picture to challenge whomever wins AJ Nakamura. Or he'll at least have another a couple weeks with Randy Orton or Rusev, and then he'll move on to the next guy. But I think Rusev, he's primed to win it, and they better bring the goddamn tank out again. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I forgot about it.
How could you forget the tank? It was the most over-the-top and awesome and stupid thing that's ever happened at WrestleMania.
Dude,
Until Triple H
He's
came
a
out.
friggin' tank.
Yeah.
No, it's crazier than I think Triple H did. He had a tank.
brilliant. And
He could have invaded parts of. He could have invaded a town and taken it over.
Mike, didn't you say like there might be some cool things happening for Jinder's entrance, or hadn't you said that in the past or something? Maybe
I joked that I said he should be coming out riding on an elephant and doing like the whole it's.
that would be.
But
crazy.
that may be a little too stereotypical. I don't want to go in that direction but
Oh, nothing Jinder has done has been stereotypical.
okay, I don't.
keeping it
Nothing
real.
the WWE has ever done has
I'm
ever
saying-
been stereotypical. Ever.
Yeah, but
But
Hornswoggle was a leprechaun.
okay, well maybe they like you said with Mustafa Ali, it's a change of pace. Don't throw by his name or his face or anything like that. But Jinder, yes, he's coming out wearing like yes, I'm Indian royalty kind of thing. Yes, and we might have a bunch of those kind of Maharaja celebrations and everything like that as U.S. champion. I mean, if Bobby Roode was a heel, I'd say go all in on Bobby Roode with this, but he's not. I gotta go with Jinder, and he's gonna be he will be the Miz of SmackDown. I mean, I'm don't get me wrong, I love Miz a lot more than Jinder Mahal, but he will be that solid mid-card heel champion on the blue brand.
wow. All right, Mike, dropping the mic here. All right, so let's get into our what I would assume be main events. I'm going to start with this one. I feel that Braun should be in this match. We all kind of have the news that Lesnar is leaving. Obviously, I'm more concerned about the title being on the show. I think we all are. You can't just show up, 4 times a year, 5 times a year. That's the big title. We need the big title on Raw. It needs to move around a little bit. I'm not thrilled it's Roman Reigns. I'm not trying to hate or anything or knock him, but not one of my personal favorites. I think Braun should be in the match. I may have mentioned that once or twice. I think, on paper, it's a surefire thing that Roman's going to win, hold up the title, all the fireworks go. Maybe this closes the night. Maybe they swerve us just because, we all pretty much know Lesnar's leaving. Maybe he loses it the next night on Raw. But, I mean, I just got to go with Roman Reigns the way he's being pushed. They had the same match 3 years ago. Roman Reigns, what do you guys think about this match, and who do you think is going to take home the Universal title?
I could care less.
Wow.
I will be straight with you. This is probably the match. Like Tim said, there's matches where he will be standing up and not sitting on the couch. This will probably be the one for me. I have very little interest in it. I mean, I do like that Roman has kind of been trying to be a little kayfabe with it, and unfortunately it's not working.
He had that one good promo. That was solid.
Basically saying, oh, you're not... yeah, you know what? I still come to work. And you know what? You're a bitch. You're not coming to work. You just want to show up and get paid. Which we all know. Let's be honest. There's semblance of truth to it.
Less is always more with him.
Yeah.
On the mic.
Totally. Last year after he beat Taker, he just got in the ring. After 2 minutes of straight boos, he dropped the mic and said, this is my yard now. And just shrugged his shoulders and walked away.
Stuff like that's better for him, yeah.
Which I think if he's going to win the belt, maybe do some kind of double turn, beat the hell out of Brock afterwards and be like, you know what, you don't belong here, and maybe just have him go full out heel. Pull the trigger on a Roman Reigns main event heel turn if you want him to be the champion. But I don't see it happening. And I mean, I do see Roman's going to win, but I just not really caring too much about this match.
Gotcha.
But Tim, you go ahead.
Go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, I mean, we all know the news, So they could do something like, dropping the title the next night, but I doubt that happens. I think if WWE is smart, they don't have this as the last match of the night. This is the second to last match of the
Agree
night.
with you on that.
I agree.
And let it be Reigns. Let people be super pissed off, but it's coming anyway. Get all the boos, but guess what? Immediately afterwards, we get AJ Styles and Nakamura. So we're gonna be happy at the end of the night.
Well said.
So
That should be the main
let's
event.
Let's go Reigns, and then we'll wait for Dean Ambrose to come back, and we'll wait for Rollins to start feuding with them, and we'll move on from there.
Love it. Well, really well said. Bill, what are your feelings on this match?
So, the Vince McMahon is got his wish, because now he has a position where Roman Reigns can be cheered when he wins at WrestleMania.
Yep.
And that is why that match is going on last, because he wants to be vindicated in his decision to give Roman Reigns the push. Last year, Roman Reigns had, in my opinion, actually, I think in the previous two WrestleManias, Roman Reigns has had two of the worst WrestleMania matches, like main event type WrestleMania matches I've seen. His match with The Undertaker was awful, and it exposed him as someone who doesn't know how to carry a match. His match with Triple H was also not very good. It was really, really bad. And I think he's improved a lot since then. And I think this match is going to be short. I think it's going to be all impact. And I think the big dog will take the win. And people are going to be I think people are over Lesnar and the WWE has built these promos to be like, guys, we know what he is and we agree. We're over it because we want you to cheer for Roman. Brock needs to go away and people are going to be pissed at him and they'll try and boo him. And if this crowd is anything like that Atlanta Raw crowd, they're going to get behind Roman.
I also think now that they have Ronda Rousey, they don't need another legit badass fighter on their roster if they have her now.
And I also have Shayna Baszler too, and whatever. They are going to sign a lot more because there's a lot more former UFC guys now in pro wrestling.
Conor McGregor on 205 Live next year. Sorry, go ahead, Bill. I'm sorry.
I would love to see that if he's not in jail. So I think it's gonna the best thing for Brock Lesnar is to leave WWE, go to UFC, have a fight or two, and ultimately do what he's gonna do. He's gonna come back to WWE and retire there because his body can't take. I don't think he's gonna have too many more UFC fights left. Maybe one or two. He finished that up. He goes to WWE. He finishes his career, and that's all she wrote. So I think they're in a great position to make Roman the guy, as he says he is, and not be a complete and utter joke. And I think he'll get cheered, and they'll put it over like it's the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Yeah, I agree. But my question to you guys is just real quick. Why would you leave that job with the WWE that, show up 5 times a year, major paycheck? Like, why are we going back into UFC?
Because I can.
Oh, okay.
That's what
money?
I think that's his reason. It's money and because he knows he can. Brock Lesnar could do whatever the hell he wants, and he knows that. So for him, he's like, I don't feel like wrestling anymore. I want to have a couple fights. I'm not getting any younger. And UFC is going to be like, oh, we can get a big attraction. Let's throw a lot of money at him, and they'll throw him like a tomato can, and he'll make them money.
Great. Hey, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Totally. I'm with him on that. Yeah.
He failed his last drug test for
about
MMA, and they don't seem to care. He's still gonna get busted for some sort of, performance-enhancing drug that MMA claims that they ban all of them. So
and he quote unquote served his suspension.
Quote unquote, yes. So, he's still the draw. When he's at UFC 260, whatever, I'm watching. It's gonna happen.
Mr. at Hey You Sports, getting it from all angles. That's why you're here, man. Yeah, we got to talk some fantasy football in a couple months. Yeah, we do. Can't wait for that. I know Mike can't wait either. All right, guys.
Yes, you create a monster.
So I saved this one for last. Obviously, we did cover everything, I believe, besides this one. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Cena Taker?
Oh, thank you. See, this is why I asked, man. I knew I was missing one. Yeah, so, well, first of all, this isn't officially a match yet. It's not officially a match. The storyline at first was interesting. Cena needed a match. Like, what did he do? Go to the elimination? I forget what he did. He tried several different ways to get a match.
Streak of losses.
Keeps going on how he's going to be a fan. He calls out Undertaker, fights Kane, does a lot of stuff. Undertaker has yet to show up in any capacity. No real reason for them to fight besides Cena needs a match and calls him out. I thought it was an interesting storyline at first. Then it just kind of got awkward. And I'm sure it's going to happen.
I seems if the way they're going with this, they have to. I mean, with all they've put into it. I mean, if they knew Taker couldn't wrestle, let's say a month ago, then I would say, hey, have John Cena be Ronda Rousey's partner or something. Or have him be Braun's partner. That'd be kind of fun. Wouldn't be the,
Yeah, I think they addressed that on Raw.
It wouldn't make the most sense. But, Who knows? But I mean, if the way they're going about this, I can't see
It has to happen.
It has to, and
Just
it may
'cause
not even be like
he did all that stuff like, oh,
Yeah.
why am I not joining the Battle Royal? Why am I not being Braun's part? You know, he kind of like ruled everything out, you know, so.
they can't put the effort into us if
It's
Taker's
awkward.
not ready to go. I just don't know how long of a match it's going to be. And if somebody wins it, I probably am going to say John Cena is going to win if the match does.
Why do this? Like, Cena doesn't need it. Why have, you know, the streak is just like such a thing of the past. Like,
Well,
you know,
neither of them really need it, to be honest. I mean,
But-
if Taker never came back after the way they did the send-off last year, even though, like Bill, you said you didn't think the match was great, and it was all right.
Yeah.
But
The match I thought was the Drizzles, but like the send off was the proper way.
it was beautiful. He
Yes.
took his gloves
Yeah.
off and his hat. He kissed his wife at ringside. He walked into a cloud of smoke, and boom, done. And
So
if you
why?
saw some of the-
Why bring him back?
I don't know. I don't know why. Maybe
It's
just-
confusing.
it is confusing. Maybe it
Glad,
would just be some
always
kind of-
glad to see the Undertaker, but yeah, and then they're saying it's going to be this gimmick and not the other gimmick, and Cena had made a couple, you know, one or two things, Dead Man Walking and whatnot, and Kid Rock theories and all.
If
all that.
Undertaker never came back, I would say I don't care. I mean, I'll be upset. It's very sad. He's a part of our childhood. Don't get me wrong, but the send off last year was so it was I hate to say the word beautiful in professional wrestling, but it was such a beautiful moment. It was like it was feeling like verklempt. It really was, but it was.
No, it really was. It was like got the hairs on the back of your neck up because this is a guy like we never saw. Like he was the Andre the Giant of this era. Like he was the next big attraction.
Yeah.
And we never saw Andre the Giant retire. Like he unfortunately passed away. You know, and we never saw him again. And
There's
the
nothing-
Undertaker.
There's nothing like an Undertaker's intro live. You know, it's always one of the greatest moments of any wrestling fan to ever see live. And to be there, if you were there for his, you know, departure, would have been like, you know, it just go, yeah.
There's like that like unofficial rule that like a wrestler's last match is usually like a loss, kind of like passing the torch type deal. So, you know, when he had his send off against Reigns, you didn't like who he was quote unquote passing the torch to, but you know, the send off was fantastic. Like it was it, and we were all cool with it, and we said our goodbyes, and like that was it. He showed up at the whatever episode of Raw celebrating, you know, however long it was on TV for, and that was, you know, it was upsetting because that was at the old venue and it wasn't the full, you know, entrance that you wanted to see, even if it was one last time. And you know, I just don't. If it happens, I think you. See, I can't even give you a prediction because neither of them need it. You've been pushing this loss after loss after loss on John Cena. So what's another loss? He doesn't need it to propel him forward anywhere unless he's really pushing for the Ric Flair, you know, title record. Yeah. So I don't know. Like I feel like if it was the dream match that we all wanted, which we wish we had 4 or 5 years ago, it would have been built up more. Like it's kind of like, hey, we could do this. Let's just do it.
We always wanted that Phenom versus the Phenomenal one, you know. We always kind of wanted that ajstyles versus Taker a couple of years ago. That would have been huge and made sense. But this one, I'm not biting on the Cena versus Undertaker. I'm not interested. I'm interested in seeing the Undertaker. I don't know. And they better not have Cena come out and do like the whole, I'm gonna give it one last chance and everybody in New Orleans get behind me and be loud, and then we're wasting 10 minutes of match time, and I'm worried about that as well. Bill, what do you think? Who do you think is going to win this match if this match even happens?
So I've read a few things. I've read a few things online that this might just be a quote unquote confrontation, which I think is a waste of time. If it's a confrontation, like they're gonna like have a showdown or something like that, like
yeah,
who cares? It's just like let's have a fight, and I think it's. If I'm the Undertaker, I look at that match and it's just like that match, like I said, was garbage, and his send off was perfect. So it's a bittersweet way to end it. And we've seen, if you know anything about wrestling, no one ever stays retired. Terry Funk's retired 25 times, you know, and he's had beautiful send-offs, you know. But I think it's gonna it has to happen, because you just can't say, oh well, John Cena is going to be in the crowd as a fan. I would love to see. What I would love to see is it makes more sense for it to be American Badass Undertaker, because the Undertaker, the dead man, is retired. He's gone, and him to come out and say, "You call me out week in and week out. You know what? Hop the rail. Let's see how much of a man you are, and we're gonna have a fight right now. Get a referee down here." And I think everyone would be like, "Yeah, yeah." We'd all be like doing that Rock meme where we're just like looking around, like clapping, like, "Yeah, all right, let's do it. Let's do this."
Maybe street fight, American Badass street fight. That'd be all right.
Kid Rock will be there to perform.
Listen. I'll take a 10 minute street fight between the Undertaker and John Cena. Make it fun and gimmicky, and just send some people home happy. He does a tombstone. Maybe does the last ride. You know, Cena tries to do his thing, and Undertaker wins, and he gets that send off. And maybe the American Badass will see him every once in a while. He'll just be like, "Hey, that was it for me." And I think now this is going to be John Cena needs a send off. He needs a reason to be off TV, because he's got blockers that came out this weekend, and frankly, he ain't going to be around for much longer. I think his reviews on blockers he's really good, and Hollywood's just going to be like, "Okay, here's the checkbook. Come be in a whole bunch of movies, man."
Best part of Trainwreck.
Oh gosh.
I hands down the best part. and so I think you have to do it, because if you just tease it and nothing happens, or it's a stare down, or it's just some like lame segment, like it's not worth it. It was not worth the amount of time you dedicated to it.
Absolutely. And you know what? No. Unless
they pull off some sort of shenanigans, and Undertaker doesn't come out, but someone of great ilk that no one saw coming comes out and destroys John Cena. And it would have to be someone that's crazy huge, not in WWE, and I don't know who that would be.
That would be interesting.
Like,
interesting swerve.
But I don't know who that, like CM Punk. You know what I mean? It would have to be someone of that level, like Kenny Omega comes out and everyone like loses their mind. Like I think CM Punk, everyone.
I'd be happy with just Samoa Joe coming out.
I would lose my mind. CM Punk, Omega.
I mean, it's not gonna
out. Yeah, agreed. And just to
like that would have to that if Undertaker doesn't come out, it'd have to be that payoff of this person came out of nowhere, or if like Edge came out of retirement. Like it would have to be something nuts for it to happen.
Well, Edge is off filming Vikings.
No, I'm saying like he's got. Like, it can't be like, oh, here's Velveteen Dream, although that would be kind of cool. Like it can't be someone random from NXT debuting. Like it can't be Lars Sullivan. It's got to be something big.
Yeah, for sure. And no disrespect here, but wouldn't be the worst thing if he did have the motorcycle, the Undertaker, run down that long ramp.
Yeah, he can't do that walk.
Just because we mentioned Omega, I just want to throw this out there that Vegas, besides that, Vegas has a prop bet out there that the Young Bucks will show up at WrestleMania. It's paying way too much. It's like $150,000 for like $1,000 bet. So
really,
yeah, it's insane.
They are locked into a deal. They've got the all-in show. I can't see it happening.
It's not, but it's great that it's on the Vegas line that you could bet.
But I'm the guy who said there was no way the Hardys were showing up at Mania because I covered their Ring of Honor TLC match, and they put themselves through hell. And I'm like, no way they come out in a match at WrestleMania. One of the greatest swerves and re-debuts of all time.
I lost my mind, Bill. You know that. I lost my mind.
I stood up and screamed like an idiot.
Oh,
so did the guy to my left, Bill. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I did. Hey, when him and Mysterio, I mean, the Hardys came back, and then Mysterio, I was losing my mind. That music hit. New Day with the big mislead. That was awesome. But yeah. I think where are we here? Taker Cena. I think we're all just kind of confused.
We all take Taker, right? Does anybody think Cena?
Mike said Cena, I believe, right?
No.
Oh,
Yeah, I did say.
I think we were kind of just like, I don't even know who to pick.
Yeah, we don't even
I
know.
just really hope it's Undertaker.
Big
Why
fat
take? I
question
mean, the
mark
streak
there.
is already done. What is he? 21-2.
23-2.
Oh, is this? Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you're right. Why make it 23-3? Like, it just.
Maybe
mean,
he
I
comes
don't know.
out in the purple gloves, and it would be fantastic.
Hey, man, we'll see. Are you guys ready to talk about the phenomenal AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura? Hopefully, ending the night.
I have some news I can break for you guys because it's out there in the public.
Yes, sir.
Confirmed that JR and King are going to be the commentators
Nice.
for the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, and Beth
thank
Phoenix is going to do commentary for the Women's Battle Royal.
Oh, good stuff. Man.
Beautiful.
Breaking news on the podcast. Good stuff.
And then
Bill.
Jerry the King Lawler just showed up at an independent show and threw a fireball at Joey Ryan.
Yes.
Wrestling.
All right, so we're talking Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles for the WWE Championship. I always say this, like, Styles can lose. Like, he's one of those guys that always can lose. I was going to pick Styles to win. I think it's going to be a great match, first of all. I was going to pick Styles to win on this big podcast, but, you know, all this injury stuff with him not wrestling, I mean, just coming down to that, I think that just they don't want to have another title where they have to, you know, someone's hurt and vacate or whatever and do a whole tournament or that whole thing like they always have to do. I don't think they want to do that. I think they're going to play it safe, you know, and like I always say, AJ Styles is a guy who can lose, you know. It's always like 50-50 with him, and that's one of the things I like about him besides his in-ring performance. He's, well, phenomenal. I got to go with Nakamura on this simply based on the injury, possible injury, healing injury, whatever this is. That's just my train of thought.
First off, I want to say AJ Styles, damn. Who would ever thought that he would be defending a WWE World Championship at a WrestleMania? This is a guy who's conquered everything. He so deserved this. And, you know, I'm so happy that he's going to be, you know, that he's getting this big shot. And it's going to be an incredible match. But I do think Nakamura is going to win it. They have, you know, their international superstar. You know, he'll be the first ever Japanese world champion for WWE. And don't forget, this doesn't mean that the feud is done. They can still have a match. Maybe at SummerSlam they'll have a rematch, or Survivor Series. They'll hype it as like the rematch. And maybe AJ, whether it's for the title or not, AJ at that point, AJ will get maybe the win back, and who knows. But this time, WrestleMania, the big stage, the whole world is watching. They're gonna have like commentator booths from like 13 different languages. This is gonna be big, and I definitely think I'm gonna go with Shinsuke Nakamura.
Going with Shinsuke. All right, Bill, let's go with you.
All right. This one is going to be good. It's going to be real good. As someone, I've been following AJ Styles since I first saw him in the WCW Cruiserweight Tag Team Tournament on the last legs of Monday Nitro.
Wow.
I've been a fan of his. I was like, wow, that guy could be something. And to see him go from Mr. TNA to where we never thought we'd see him in WWE to being a main event at WrestleMania is amazing. A guy I've seen live a number of times. It's super cool. With that being said, Nakamura needs this win. To me, his run in WWE, and it's probably not a popular opinion, has not been the most impressive. He had that great first match with Sami Zayn. That match was incredible. After that, I mean, his matches were always with Bobby Roode, Samoa Joe. They were good. They were never blowaway. And right now, his run in WWE has been fairly forgettable outside of his Royal Rumble win. Like, name me a great feud he's had. I mean, he had that one great match with Cena, but he hasn't had any great feuds up until now, and I think WWE needs to see what he has. He needs to unleash everything he has, and he's got the crowd with the cool entrance. He had the crowd at the Royal Rumble. I think you're going to see this big one thing Nakamura has been great at, especially in Japan, is like getting the crowd emotionally invested in him. And I think he needs this big stage to show everyone that you want to care about him and you want to see him win. And there's nobody better to do it against than AJ Styles. I can see AJ Styles hitting every finisher he's ever had, and he can't get the win. Nakamura keeps kicking out. He hits that Kinshasa, and boom, great place goes bananas. And I think you're going to get a really great match. It's going to be a really dramatic match, and I think it's going to be super cool. And yeah, Shinsuke Nakamura, because he needs something. If he loses this match, he's like rudderless to me. He's not going to have much to do, and so he needs this win, and I think he'll get it.
Good stuff, Bill, as always.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on board with everything that all of you guys have just said. And it's tough for Shinsuke because we love everything that he brings to the table, but what can he do after this? You don't see anything really going forward, anything that he will push because his mic skills aren't great. So he can't go out and verbally, cut a promo to feud with somebody else. So I agree, he needs this win. And I'm all in on all the titles changing. All of them. Just get them to a new...
This would fall in that
just
category,
every single one. No, at least the big four. In my opinion, the big four are changing hands.
I should have known.
Yeah, so...
Sticking with it. You're consistent, Tim.
Always.
I love it. Well, good. So Shinsuke all around.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be. This is the match. Like I 1000% thank WWE for giving the dream match to the fans because this is the one that we are watching and we are ready and we are just pumped for.
Every internet, what do you call it? Wrestling geek and independent fan, everything like that is going to be glued to this for this match. So.
Got to close out the night, right?
It should. It totally should.
No,
I don't think it will.
I mean, it makes perfect sense what you guys were saying before when you said that the end of the night when Roman Reigns takes the belt from Lesnar, and he's got the confetti falling on him to validate Vince. I thought that was a fantastic point. That could definitely be that could be the closer.
With the
but
pyro.
I mean. This match is gonna be
nothing
amazing.
like AJ handing the belt to Shinsuke, shaking hands or bowing to him or everything like that. That could be it. And like I said, you have the international, like the whole world's watching. It's broadcast like all these different countries and languages. Nothing like making history. Having I'm not just saying because he's Japanese, but also the fact that he's a freaking charismatic wrestling superstar. You have him. They got their international guy. Right off the bat. So there it is. Great way to end the night.
Well, I guess we'll see what happens. Gentlemen, I think we covered pretty much all the matches. I really do thank you guys for staying up late. I know you guys all got work. You guys did a fantastic job. We will all be tuning in to WrestleMania at 5 o'clock on the WWE Network for how much, Mike?
$9.99.
That's right. We'll check it out.
Free if you're a new subscriber.
That's right. Hey, this is good stuff, man. This is like shameless promo. And speaking of shameless promo, of course, follow my good friend Tim at Hey You Sports on Twitter. We'll be talking with him about the fantasy football like we mentioned earlier. Please check out thepopbreak.com if you haven't. Bill does a great job, has a great website. He even lets me write some things here and there. So it's really awesome. I definitely want to check out that Rowdy Ronda Rousey article. Bill also writes for PWI Insider. Lots of good stuff. And Mike, throwing the big WrestleMania party on Sunday. We will be there.
That's why I got to contribute, yeah. I know those promote. I'm like one of the Howard Stern whack pack. I'm just here.
Well, hey, man. Start up a Twitter or something, man. I'm sure you got some fans following the podcast for sure.
Oh, thanks.
And, of course, I got to thank It Lives, It Breathes for the music. We're going to close with them. I think, I guess appropriately with the Shinsuke Nakamura theme. They do a great job with the electric guitar. Yeah.
Definitely. Stick around for it.
Oh, really good stuff. And guys, enjoy WrestleMania. We are out. Gentlemen, thanks for coming over. Peace.
Later.
Take care.
Goodbye, you son of a bitch.
Hey guys, thanks for listening to this episode of the Bob Culture Podcast. If you'd like to support the show on patreon.com for some great incentives, check out patreon.com/BobCulturePodcast. I'd like to thank my newest patrons, Mike and Michelle Vermillion from Sledgepad LLC. Sledgepad is the revolutionary bass drum dampening system that make blankets in your bass drum a thing of the past. I love my Sledgepad and is currently being used by drummers from national acts such as Pink and Collective Soul. Use my code BOBMAN007 at checkout for a special discount. Check them out at sledgepad.com. Finally, don't forget to support the show by leaving a review on iTunes or give me a like on facebook.com/BobCulturePodcast.